Hello, everybody. How are you all? Welcome to JAIIB CAIIB Prep. Today, you and we are going to do the whole syllabus together at one place. This is Radhika, your co-explorer and mentor for this beautiful promotion journey. I'm Ajay, calling you out. Please come fast. So that we can start. I'll just send the link as well. Give me 1 second. Okay. Waiting for everybody to join. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Just waiting for all to join. वक्त 8:05 We'll wait for another 2 minutes and then we will start. तब तक let me share my PPTs with everybody. Hello everybody. Let all our paid class students also join. We will start with the session. Today, you and we are going to complete the whole session, the whole module A for our ABM exam, where we will be doing all sorts of MCQs that are relevant for your exams. Apart from which we did in our class, in our paid class, we'll be joining with the new MCQs in today's session. The whole 9 units will be covered tonight. Okay, so Vikas sir has something to say. Hello, Vikas sir. I think you raised your hand. Am I audible to everybody? Okay, let everybody join, then we can start our session. We'll wait for just 2 more minutes and then we can start the session. Okay, so we are section over. And give me 1 more second. Okay. Okay, you all can. Yes. Yes, I'll give you full concept. Selva Kumar sir. Good evening, everybody. Sound error. Yes, module wise. Okay, my sound is not proper. Okay, I'm a local guy says that module wise class. This is module A. Voice is not clear. Just give me 1 second then and I'll check what is the problem with sound and then we can start again then. Okay, mic testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. Is my voice? Am I audible to everybody? Is my voice clear? Please let me know in the comment section. Please let me know. Is my voice clear to everybody? Good evening. No sound. Okay, there is no sound. Okay. Am I audible now? Please let me know. Am I audible? No sound again. Give me 1 second then. Am I audible now? Everybody, please do let me know. Am I audible to you now? Or the sound problem is still prevailing? If it is still there, then I'll quickly reconnect. Is my sound clear now? It's breaking. Voice is breaking, not clear. Is it clear now? Please let me know. Is the sound clear now? For ABM module 1, module A, sorry. Selva sir, is the sound clear now? No sound. Okay. Just 1 minute. I'll quickly come back. I will come back. I'll have to end it here and then I'll come back. Okay, please let me know. Am I audible now? Just requesting everybody, let me know. Okay, I'm back, everybody. Am I audible now? Is the voice clearer now? If it is clear, then we can move ahead. I know a lot of time has been wasted, but do not worry. We'll complete the course tonight, only then we'll move forward. Is my voice clear now? Am I audible to everybody? Neeraj Sharma sir is saying yes, it is audible now. Okay, thank you everybody for letting me know. I am trying to restart the class over the app as well. Then we can do it. Yes, I have. Just give me 1 second. I think the logistics team will be better at solving the problem for our class, paid class, right? Till then, let's start with the first module, right? Clear? Okay, let's start then. Let's start. Okay. We will be starting with unit 1, module A, and I'll take you to unit 9. That is my promise. We will keep it crisp so that the whole session is covered and we do not miss on anything. And we'll be doing new questions. Whatever questions we did in the class, these questions are entirely a new set of questions that are made for you. These are also from your book. These are also from past year exams. So yes, very relevant for exams and very interesting questions, new questions. Of course, we did a major set in the class for our paid batch. Now we are going to move towards our new set. The practice session that we have today, we have the new set with us. So you tell me, all my bankers ready for today's session? You tell me in the comment box 0 that you're not interested, 5 that super interested, super excited for this session. In the comment box, please. Okay, so unit 1 was all about basics. So we'll do that right away. Okay, I think so I need to know if my audio and my video is visible to everybody. Since there are no more comments, is the class still connected? Please let me know. Please let me know. Are you all still here in the class? Okay, so I've got the replies that yes. Okay, the class students need to have the link, so you'll have to give me another minute for it. Okay, so we'll be starting with unit 1. We are starting with our first unit, that is ABM's first unit for stats, and we are going to start with unit number 1, where we will be talking majorly about what is stats. First thing that we covered was what is stats, then how it is useful in modern world, then we did our process, what are the steps involved in statistics. So first of all, what I'll do whatever is important for your exam and nothing else. I do not want to waste your time. We have 4 hours for today's session where we need to cover a whole 9 units. In today's class, we'll be doing just what is important for exam and then MCQs. Okay. Unit 1, we have the definition for stats, implying a Latin word which is statisticum, gave us the word statistics, and German word that is statistic gives us the word statistics, meaning information and human interest, numbers or figures which represent human interest, information regarding the human interest. As a discipline, statistics deals with collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data. Now, what does that mean? That is the whole process of stats. As you know, the world is evolving, there is globalization. Every aspect of commerce especially requires stats. We require stats. We need collection of data to analyze it, to organize it, and to present, interpret it in any field. May it be banking, may it be normal business, may it be e-com. These days everything requires statistics. Based on the past trends, we forecast that what will happen in the coming future. We forecast the demand so that we can meet it with the supply, right? We want our supply to meet with the demand, so we require stats everywhere. What is the whole process of stats? That is important for us. So stats, it starts, the importance and limitation we have already done. So statistics starts with data collection and it moves till interpretation of this data. How did it work? I first collected the data. Okay, I'll have to move. Okay, I first collected the data. After collection, you collected this data from various sources. Could be primary, could be secondary. After collecting this data, you organize this data, that is classification and tabulation, so that you can simplify the data. You can make sense of this data. This is raw data that you collected. Now you want to make sense of it. So what you'll do, you'll put it into tables, you'll classify it, you'll organize it, then you'll analyze it. How will you analyze it? You'll apply statistical tools to it, like mean, median, central tendencies, and then you will interpret the data. You will interpret the data. This is the whole cycle of stats, starting from collection and ending to interpretation. Why are we interpreting it? So that we can make forecast. For that, we can we can use this data for further mathematical implications, right? That is all about 4 phases of stats. Now, the collection can be made via 2 modes: primary collection, secondary collection. Primary collection is you collect the data yourself, very reliable data. Secondary collection is somebody else published the data and you are using somebody else's work to make your own interpretation to further work on this data. This is known as secondary data. So I am saying yes, primary data because I collected on my own, it is very reliable, but I am never saying that secondary data is not reliable. I'm never saying that. Reliability is dependent on the quality of data and the source of data. If the source is reliable, even the secondary data is reliable. If RBI publishes something, do you think it is secondary data for me? I'm not collecting the data on my own, but it is so reliable. The reliability level is high. So you can never say that primary data is more reliable than secondary data. No, we are not saying that. Reliability depends on the source. So what do you mean to say? I collect data, it will be more reliable than what RBI publishing? We are not saying that. You might get a question like that secondary data is always less reliable than primary data. No, that is absolutely untrue. Okay. Now, when I talk about classification and tabulation, when I put this raw data, this world of information into tables, into rows and columns, it is known as tabulation and classification. I am making homogeneous group with similar data, and I'm trying to club it and put it into a table. This is known as classification and tabulation. Then I'll apply some statistical tools to it. That will be known as analysis, and at the end I'll interpret the data. What is? I'll draw conclusions. I'll try to see what is the trend, and then I'll make some decisions out of it. This is the whole phase. This is the whole process. And believe you me, this is the whole unit 1. This is the whole unit 1. Is this making sense to everybody? Is it making sense? I would like to get a thumbs up if you were able to understand this, or you can give me a thumbs down if you want me to repeat, or you can simply write that you want me to repeat any information and I'll repeat it. Okay, now let's moving ahead. This is what we know, what importance of stats, limitation of stats. Then how did data collection start? Always primary, secondary. And then there are other considerations as well. Apart from primary, secondary, you collect data on the basis of sample. So what is sample versus census? So when you collect the entire population, that is census. But when you pick up some relevant information, some data that is representing the whole population, that is a sample. I have a bigger collection of data with me. I have bigger raw data with me. I want to collect a set out of this data which will represent the whole set. This is known as sample. Okay. Classification we have done. Now, another thing which is important might come in your exam, that it is arranging of raw data into homogeneous groups. Important. These groups have to be homogeneous, so that the data becomes more manageable. What was the purpose of classification? But there was a lot of data. I'm just trying to make sense of this data. How do I do that? I tabulate it. I arrange the data in such a manner that all homogeneous data is grouped together. I'm trying to make this bundle of information into more manageable and meaningful bundle, right? There could be variate and there could be attributes. Very important. Could be asked in your exams. What are variates? When the characteristic is for quantity, it is variate. When it is about quality, it is attribute. Meaning, whatever you can measure and express it into number, that is a variate. And whatever can be expressed as which cannot be expressed numerical, but is more about a quality, it is an attribute. For example, what is customer satisfaction level? Good, not good, dissatisfied, satisfied. That's a quality. It's an attribute. Whatever you can put into number, like for example, loan amount. For example, account holder's age, income of a family. These are all variates. Okay. Tabulation, you're just forming them into rows, the horizontal one, and columns, the verticals one. Frequency distribution, it is arranged, classified into rows and columns so that a table can be formed. You want to have a relationship that can be observed and computation can be performed. Major reason for tabulation. The data can be observed and computations can be performed. Plus minus can be performed. What is frequency distribution? When you group similar data together, you make a frequency distribution. Good, important for exam, good tabulation helps in summarizing large data, facilitating comparison, and forming the basis for your charts and graphs and further analysis. This is important for tabulation. Moving ahead, let's do the questions then. Okay. Now, at this point, because this was, I thought in my mind that we are going to do it like this. If you want that I change something in this whole series that we are continuing, what we can do is I can take one unit and then do the questions, or second mode we have is I take up 3 units and then we do questions for these 3 units. Whatever is your choice, whatever the majority says, I'll move with that. If you want me to go ahead with just first session and then first unit and do the question, otherwise you want me to complete all 3 units and then we can move to the questions, whatever is feasible with you all. Or you want me to switch to English, Hindi plus English, then I'll switch to English. Whatever you all are comfortable with. But you'll have to tell me in the comment box. Only then I'll be able to change. Topic wise, okay. Okay, let's do that then. So let's continue with MCQ for topic number 1, that is unit number 1. Okay. So unit number 1 is all about your objective, introduction, importance of stats, functions of stats, limitations of stats. Then we had our collection and tabulation, organizing, analysis and interpretation. One thing that you need to understand, stats is all about averages. And you cannot focus on individual data. You cannot, just cannot. This is a limitation. Extremes are taken into account when you are calculating averages, but the true picture is not represented. This is also you need to understand. Okay. Now let's do some questions. I made questions as per unit 1, 2, 3, but we'll stop for unit, whenever I'll feel that unit 2 is to be taught, I'll teach unit 2, then we'll move to unit 2 questions. Okay. Numerical part, for tomorrow's class, the numerical part will be done in details because tomorrow's class is all about numericals. In today's class, we are having a complete revision plus MCQs. And in today's class as well, if I feel that any focus should be to be given on any numerical part, I'll do it. Don't worry about that. Okay. Then question number 1 on your computer screen. So you and I, we are going to play a game, and the game is Kaun Banega Banker, KBB. It's fastest finger first. Whoever gives the first answer, the first correct answer wins that question home. Okay, let's see how many questions you are taking home tonight. Question number 1 on your computer screen. Which of the following is a function of statistics rather than an application or phase? Collection of data, time series analysis in economics, studying the relationship between two variables, and forecasting stock prices using regression. You tell me which of the following is a function of stats rather than an application or phase. Phases we have done, there are only 4 phases of stats. What do you think will be a function and not an application? I've already told you that what are my functions and what are my applications or phases. Application is phase. Theory, I'll give you theory plus wherever I feel numerical is required for understanding that theory, I'll give you. So, Neeraj sir is saying A, Nandu A, okay. You will have to comprehend the question, everybody. Take the question again. They're saying what is application and what is, the question says what is the function of stats rather than application or the phase. Now, there are 4 phases: collection, organization, tabulation, analysis, and interpretation. So, which is not a phase. The question says which is not a phase. It is a function and not an application or a phase. So, think of the answer. Very good. Very good, all of you. Loving the energy out here. Very, very, very good. Okay. The answer is C. Collection of data is first phase. It is the first phase. So, this will not be my answer. Time series in economics, no. Studying the relationship between two variables is a function of stats and not. Time series is what? It is a table. Tabulation only. Forecasting stock prices using regression, that is analysis. And interpretation. Right? You are making analysis, you are applying some. This is also a tool, this is also a tool. So these will not be the answers. You are studying a relationship between two variables, not a phase, not an application. So C will be the correct answer. C will be the correct answer. Right? So collection of data is what? It's your first phase. Time series analysis, this is the third stage. Forecasting prices using regression, fourth stage. Interpretation. Studying the relationship between two variables. C is the correct answer. Functions of stats. Statistics presents the fact in definite form. Stats simplify complex data. It provides a technique of comparison. Stats study the relationship between two or more variables. It helps in formulating policy. It helps in forecasting outcomes. So, which is a function rather than an application or phase. So, all other are phases. Only this is a function. Only this is a function. So, you have to comprehend the question. That is one thing, please. Comprehend the question. Okay. C is the correct answer. So, the first one to take the question home was Vikas sir. Vikas sir, many, many congratulations. 1 lakh into your account. Okay, question number 2. Question number 2. Question number 2 on your computer screens, please. So, the first one to take the question home. Just 1 second. कंप्यूटर जी क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 ले आए. टडन टडन. ओके. Okay. The following statement best highlight the application and importance of stats across fields. Which of the following are correct? The following statements are telling me the application and importance of stats. Simple. You have to tell me which of the following is true about stats. In business, statistical analysis helps in decision making regarding production, finance, sales through historical data and forecasting techniques. Is that making sense to you? Yes, absolutely right. This is correct. The statement is correct. Yes, makes sense that it is helps us in decision making regarding, it can be anything, and it is based on historical data and forecasting technique. You are using past data to forecast future data. So this is correct. This is absolutely correct. Okay. In economics, statistical methods are applied to analyze demand, elasticity, consumer behavior, and cost structure. You tell me, in economics, statistical methods are applied to analyze demand, elasticity, consumer behavior, and cost structure. Yes, makes sense. Statistics is applied to do this. This is also correct. This is also correct. If you feel that whatever I'm saying is not comprehending, or it is not, you are unable to relate to what I'm saying, please comment. Maybe what if I'm telling the answer is wrong, whatever I'm saying is wrong. You never know. You never know if I'm checking you or whatever is happening. So this is also correct. As per me, second statement is also correct. Okay. Bayesian decision theory is exclusively applied in government policy making and has no relevance in business decision. I don't know. I don't know if that is true. Weather forecasting uses statistical tools like regression and time series analysis to predict environmental patterns. See, I know that if I want to forecast data, I'll have to take past records. I'll have to see the trends from where? Time series. To predict environmental patterns. Of course, this is absolutely right. Absolutely right. Correct. Last statement. In banking, statistical tools aid in credit policy formulation by analyzing analyzing variables such as deposit ratio, customer base, credit demand, that you have various data with you, and you want to make sense of it, and you want to formulate your credit policies out of it. This is also correct. This is also correct. Now you tell me which of the following is correct. Option A, only statement 1, 2, 4 and 5 are correct, meaning the third statement is wrong, right? Option number B, statement 1 and 5 are correct. This is wrong because we know for sure that statement number 2, 4, 1 all are correct. So this is wrong. Statement 2, 3, 4 and 5 are correct. 2, 3, 4 and 5 are correct. We know 1 is also correct. So that is also not the correct option. All are correct. Now I have used 50-50 lifeline for you. I've used 50-50 lifeline on my own for you. Now you tell me which is correct, A or D. You tell me which is correct, A or D. Let's see who's taking home so much money. Absolutely right. Amazing, Vikas sir. Neeraj sir, very good. Neeraj Sharma. Nandu. Dinanath sir. Nandu sir. Namrata ma'am. Absolutely right. Everybody is giving me the correct option. See, listen here. When I'm talking about Bayesian decision theory, I have told you in class that Bayesian decision theory is applied wherever you have multiple options with you and you are aware that each option can give you which outcomes. So you want to pick up the best option available, right? That is Bayesian decision theory. You have different variables, different options. For example, you want to invest. You know there are 10 products I can invest into. Which will give you the best returns. That Bayesian decision theory will help you in making decisions out there. Did we ever talk about that? This is just for government policy making. This is for exactly for business. This is opposite of what is in reality. Bayesian decision theory is actually used in your business decisions only. So 3 is incorrect. This is incorrect. The correct answer will be A. Answer number A is correct because C is incorrect and all other are correct. We have already done the explanation for the same. If you want, I can read out the explanations, but it will only consume our time. In business, decision makers rely on stats methods like time series for informed choices about sales, production, finance, that we know. In economics, you use stats to understand the dynamics, consumer behavior, and pricing strategies. Regression and time series techniques are essential stats tools in weather forecasting, and for banks they use stats and probability theory to analyze financial ratios and create effective credit policies. Okay, next question for you all. Are you ready? Question number 3 on your computer screens. Let's see who is taking 3 lakh rupees home tonight. This also Vikas sir took. So Vikas sir essentially has 3 lakh in his account. 1 lakh for the first question, 2 lakh for the second question, that is 3 lakh rupees. So how did that happen? Yes, every question, if it is question number 1, it has 1 lakh rupees. Question number 2 has 2 lakh. Question number 3 has 3 lakhs. Let's see who takes maximum amount home tonight. Question number 3 on your computer screens. Which of the following statements correctly describe the limitation of stats? Okay. Statistical methods are suitable for analyzing individual cases where trends can be uniquely identified. Okay. Statistics is incapable of processing qualitative data like region or color. Statistical conclusions drawn from samples are generally true only on an average, not on every individual unit. You tell me what might be the correct answer. Option number A says only 2 and 3 are the limitations. Option number B says only 1 and 3 are the limitations. Option number C says only 1 and 2 are the limitations. And option number D says all 1, 2 and 3 are the limitations. Absolutely right. Okay, my voice is not clear. Is that so? I'm a local guy says the voice is not clear. Please let me know. Is my voice not clear? Neeraj Sharma sir, absolutely correct. Dina Nath sir, Gamer Gopal sir, Chit. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm not able to pronounce your name correctly. It is Chitakon the Okay. Nandu sir, Vikas sir, absolutely right. Everybody, your answer is absolutely right. Now the question, why is option A the correct answer? Option A is the correct answer out here. Why? Statistical methods are suitable for analyzing individual case where trends can be uniquely identified. This statement is wrong. The statement is wrong because we never apply stats on individual cases. We apply stats on, we get stats for on average basis, and we cannot take stats for individual cases. They're completely ignored. Statistics is incapable of processing quality. Yes, right. Quality is ignored in stats. This is right. This is a limitation. Statistical conclusions are drawn from samples are generally true only on average. Yes. Whatever sample I have taken, whatever conclusions I am drawing for this conclusion is also true only on an average and not on every individual unit. This is also correct. This is also a limitation. So 2 and 3 are correct. Option number 1 was incorrect because statement number 1 is also incorrect. So statement 1 is incorrect because stat is applicable to individual is not applicable to individual observation. It deals only with aggregates. Statement 2 is correct because quality or non-numerical data cannot be analyzed. And statement 3 is also correct since it reflects only average trends and not exact outcomes. So option number A was the correct answer. Option number A was the correct answer. Okay, Dina sir is saying that yes, voice is clear. Thank you for letting me know, sir. I am local guy. Please check your internet connection. Maybe you have some other problem out on your end. Okay, so who took this question home? Neeraj sir took 3 lakh rupees home. Okay, I am maintaining an account where I am writing everybody how much amount you will take from me tonight. Neeraj sir has 3 lakh rupees. Vikas sir also has 3 lakh rupees. Question number 4. A research firm is conducting a study on the health of school children in Delhi. The firm cannot collect data from every child, so it selects a group of 2000 students from various schools. The data includes height, weight, religion, and number of siblings. The goal is to estimate the average BMI of all school children in Delhi. The firm uses the average BMI of the selected 2000 children to draw a conclusion about the full group. Oh, I'm so sorry. Which of the following statements are correct in context of the above case? The entire group of school children in Delhi forms the population. Okay. Religion in this study is considered a variable. Variate is what? If you remember, variate is something which can be quantified. So this is not correct. Variate, religion is not a variate. Religion is nothing, even not an attribute, to be honest. The average BMI of 2000 selected children is a stats used to estimate a parameter. Absolutely correct. From the population, I took a sample, and on the basis of this I created a parameter. The number of siblings is a discrete variable. Okay, height and weight are examples of continuous variables. Now you tell me which of the following is correct. Only 1, 3 and 5 are correct. I know 2 is not correct. So wherever there is 2, I will cut it off. So 2 not correct. 2 not correct. 50-50 already applied. Only 1, 3, 4 and 5 are correct. Only 1, 3 and 5 are correct. So you tell me which will be the correct answer. You tell me which will be the correct answer. See, the first statement says the entire group of school children in Delhi forms the population. Yes, the entire data that we have is the population. The entire data that is available is your population. So this statement is right. This is right. Statement number 1 is correct. That is true. Statement number 2 is not correct. We have already done that. Statement number 3 is also correct. We have already estimated that. We have already established that. Statement number 4. Statement number 4. The number of siblings is a countable quantity, right? You can count. You have 2 siblings, you have 3 siblings. So this is thus a discrete variate. Yes, it is a discrete variate. What is a discrete variate? Things which can be counted. It is discrete. So this is also correct. Height and weight are example of continuous variable. That is also correct. Why? Because they can be taken into range 0 to 2 years old, 2 to 6 years old, 6 to 8 years old, so on. It is a continuous series. What is a continuous series? That you can form it into a group. A class interval can be formed 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8. So yes, that is also correct. That is also correct. So option number C will be the correct answer. Option number C will be the correct answer. Okay. Option number C will be the correct answer. Because 4th is also correct and 5th is also correct. So yes, option number C is the correct answer. Only 3 was incorrect. Because BMI from the sample is stats used to estimate population, which is a parameter. Okay. Oh, sorry. Option number 2 was incorrect because religion is quality. It is an attribute and not a variate. So 3 was correct. We know that from our data, a stats it is used to estimate a parameter, which is absolutely correct. From population, you estimate parameters. So C is the correct option, and the person to give me C as the first answer was Nandu sir. Absolutely right. Everybody else was correct. Everybody else gave me the correct answer. Absolutely correct. So Nandu sir has 4 lakh rupees into his account today. Okay, question number 5 for 5 lakh rupees. Let's see who's taking 5 lakh home tonight. Dr. Meena is conducting a national level study on adolescent health behavior in India. Okay. Who are adolescents? The teenagers who are becoming adults. That's adolescent. She designs a survey to be conducted across various states. In her plan, she selects 20,000 adolescents using a stratified sampling method. Okay. Now wait. Before I take you to this question, I will have to tell you about unit 2. That is sampling. Now, since we have collected the data, now I need to take samples out of it. So, before I take you to this, I will have to explain unit 2 to you first. Okay. So, or the second thing is I can continue with the questions, and with the questions I can explain you the concepts. You tell me. You tell me what you are more interested in, what is more comfortable for you. Option number 1, I take you to the unit 2. I explain unit 2 to you first, then I do the questions. Or option number 2, I take up the question and alongside we do with the concept, with the question, the concept will be explained. Whatever is more comfortable to you all. You'll have to tell me in the comment box, please. And what is more comfortable to you. First, basic topic. Okay, Neeraj sir. Neeraj sir has said that please do basic concept first. Option number 1. Okay, then we'll do option number 1. No problem. We'll do option number 1, you and I together. Okay. Unit 2, then I'll be explaining to you first. Unit number 2. Okay. Where is unit 2? Okay. Unit 2 I have in front of you. So, okay, let's start with unit 2, that is sampling. See, you need to understand that I've collected the data now. I've collected my data. This collection could have been from the primary source, could have been from the secondary source. Now I've collected the data. This is my raw data. I cannot put my statistical tool to so much of data. I cannot do that because the data is so high in number that will be entire waste of my resources and my time to apply my tools to such data. What I can do is maybe I can pick some data from this population, from this raw data. Maybe I can pick up some data. Which will represent the whole population. This selecting fewer information from the population is known as sampling. This is known as what? Sampling. So the process used in statistical analysis in which predetermined number of observations are taken from a larger population. This is for a larger population, depends on the type of analysis being performed. How much sample I'm taking, it depends on the source of data first of all. Second of all, which analysis I need to perform on it. Now I have types of sampling. One is a non-random sampling and second one is random sampling. Non-random meaning I have on my judgment I've picked some data, that is non-random. For random or probability sampling, each individual unit has equal probability, equal chance of being selected, right? This we understand random hai, but I can pick anybody. Each one of this unit in my population has equal chance of being selected. So that is unbiased data, definitely, right? So this random sampling can be further divided into 4 parts. First is strata. Then we have random SRS, simple random sampling, SRS. Then we have cluster, and at last we have your scientific systematic sampling. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So what did I do? I know there are two methods. One is non-random and the other one is random. Random can be further divided into 4 parts. Simple, then scientific, systematic scientific, or stratified sampling, or cluster. Okay, we are going to pick each one of it and understand what each has, what are the merits and demerits of each method out here. Random sampling, the probability sampling is any method of sampling that utilizes some form of random selection. In order to have a random selection method, you must set up some process or procedure that assures that different units in your population have equal probability of being chosen. Simple, strata, cluster, and systematic. SRS is the simplest method because you can select any. I have this population. There are different units in this population. I can pick any randomly. I can pick any. This is SRS. For systematic, what you are doing is, option number 2, what you're doing is, I have this data with me. For the first initial point, I'll use random number. Any random first point I'll choose. And from here, every nth item will be chosen. Let's say every 12th item will be chosen. Every 10th item will be chosen. Every 8th item will be chosen. Only the first initial point I chose randomly, and after that I am applying a formula that every nth item will be chosen. Every kth item will be chosen. This is known as a systematic sampling. I've made a system that now here also you understand, here as well, every point, every unit had equal chance of being selected because the initial point could have been anything, right? For stratify, but this will apply only if I have homogeneous data. Then this will make sense. If I have heterogeneous data, this will not make sense. Okay. Then I have stratified sampling. Third sampling is stratified sampling. What I did was I had this raw data with me. I made homogeneous groups out of them. Homogeneous groups, groups with items with similar characteristics were made into a group. This group is known as strata. And then I applied then among these various groups, I chose some units from every strata. Then the last one I have is cluster. I made clusters of different items that I have. Here, the data is not homogeneous. This is what is written in theory. In systematic sampling, elements are selected from a population at a uniform level that is measured in time, order, or space. If wanted to interview every 20th student of a college, that is nth, right? Stratified homogeneous groups known as stratas. Then each stratum, a specified number of elements corresponding to the proportion of that stratum in the population as a whole. We draw an equal number of elements from each stratum and give weight to the resulting accordingly. What is this? That's a lot of English altogether. So what we did, let me explain. For stratified sampling, what we did was what did I do? I made homogeneous groups, right? I have group 1, group A, B, C, D, E, F. I made 6 groups. Now, group A might have 6 units in it. Group B might have 10 units in it. Group C might have 15 units in it. Group D might have 4, 10, 12, however which way, right? There might be different units in each group. If I have, like for example, I have 10 people in age 0 to 10, right? I made groups, different groups. Now I'm selecting some from each group. This is known as strata, depending on their weight. Then I'll assign a weight depending on how much proportion they are as compared to the whole population. I am assigning a weight to them. This is known as strata. Then we have cluster. We divide the population into groups or cluster, and then at random select a sample of these clusters. We assume that these individual clusters are representative of the whole population. This is what you need to know. Then we have important topic with us, that is sampling distribution. Is this clear, everybody, or do you want me to repeat anything till here? Do you want me to repeat anything? Then I'll repeat it. Or is this making sense? Okay. Now the important topic that I have with me is sampling distribution. Okay. Sampling distribution is the distribution of all possible values of statistics from all possible samples drawn from the population. Each sample we draw from a population would have its own mean or central tendency and standard deviation. Thus, the statistics we compute for each sample would vary and be different from each sample taken. That is a bit confusing. What does it mean? Okay. Let's understand this then. Let's try to understand what is sampling distribution. I have this population with me. I have sample A, I have sample B, I have sample C, D, E, and F. So each sample that I take from this population will have its own central tendencies, right? Sample number A will have a different mean. Sample number B will have its own mean. Sample number C will have its own mean. Sample number D will have its own mean, and so on, right? So on. When I put these samples with its central tendency in a table, this is known as sampling distribution. Nothing, simple. As simple as that. In a population, there can be more than one sample. I can divide my population into smaller samples, and each sample will have its own central tendencies. When I tabulate these central tendencies of these samples, this is known as sampling distribution. For example, I have a sampling distribution table. I have boys A, B, C, D, E. Each of them have different height, right? This is my data. This is my raw data, right? This is my raw data, the collected data. I can pick different samples, like I can take sample of ABC or ABD, ABE, BCD, BCE, ACD, ACE, ADE, BDE, CDE. From this data, I can take sample of ABC, or I can take sample of ABD. I took them. I can take data like this. I can take data like, I can pick any samples that I like, right? Each sample will have its mean, which will be different from the other sample, right? Which may or may not be different from the other sample. But one thing is definite, whatever sample I'm taking will be different. The mean of this sample will be different than the whole population mean. The whole population mean was 162.40. You see, no sample has same mean as my whole population mean. It might be similar or near to the whole population mean, but will never be equal to the whole population mean. So whatever samples I'm taking, each sample may have a different central tendency. And when I tabulate this is known as sampling distribution. That's it. The concept of standard error. Now the standard error means how much each sample is deviated from the mean of the whole population. How much each sample is deviated from the whole population mean is known as standard error. That what are the chances of error? If I pick a sample, what are the chances that there is an error in picking the sample? So bigger the sample, less chances of error. That we should understand. Higher the sample, lesser the standard error. So standard deviation of the distribution of sample mean is known as standard error. That how much my sample is deviated from my mean. Don't you know that? Don't you think that what is the simple definition of standard what is my standard deviation? Standard deviation is how each item is deviated around its mean. That is the standard deviation definition, right? Same, if my item is replaced by sample, that will become a standard error. Simple. We take the average height of college girls in India across various samples. We could calculate mean height of each sample. Obviously, there is some variability in observed mean. This variability in sampling stats results from sampling error due to chance. Thus, standard deviation of sample distribution of mean measures the extent to which the mean varies because of chance error in the sampling process. This is important for your MCQs. Like sample for normal population will always be equal to your finite population. Like if I take sample from a normal population, my mean for my sample and my mean for the population will be same. This is not a coincidence. The mean of the sample means the same as the sample mean whenever we use simple random sampling. Can be asked in your MCQs. What is the formula of standard error? Standard error is represented by this. And the formula is standard deviation divided by under root of n. If I have to calculate it, bank calculates its individual saving accounts have a mean of 2000. That is, mean is 2000 and standard deviation is 600. Bank takes a sample of 100. 100 is my n. Calculate standard error. So standard error will be how much? Standard error will be, you tell me it will be how much? It will be standard deviation divided by under root of n. So 600 divided by 10, which will be 60. So standard error is of 60. Standard error is of 60. Making sense? Were you able to calculate it? Making sense? Or should I repeat anything out here? Is the formula clear? Because this formula is very important for your exam. This formula is very, very important for your exam. Please let me know in the comment section, is this making sense to you? I'm waiting. Please let me know. Okay. Okay, Neeraj sir is saying that it is very fast. Okay, Neeraj sir, we have very limited time with us. That is why I cannot take each and every thing in a very... Okay, what I can do is main important points. I will try to recap it for you. First important thing, that from the whole population, you can pick any sample. For picking any sample, because I cannot apply my stats on this whole population, I can apply my tools only on some selected data and not from on the whole infinite population, right? What I can do is I'll select some information, some data, and this will be known as sampling. For collection of this data, there are collection of the sample. I have two methods: non-random, based on my judgment, could be biased. Second is random. Randomly you pick anything, and this random can be further divided into 4 categories. Simple random, you take anything. Systematic random, you randomly pick first initial point, and from this initial point you take every nth or kth number. Like I have 100 items with me. The starting point could be anything randomly. Let's say the starting point I took randomly 8th number. And from this 8th number, I am picking every 12th number, kth item. Every kth could be 12th, 15, 16, anything. From this 7th number or 8th number, I am taking every 12th item into account. This is known as systematic sampling. For my strata, that is stratified sampling, what did I do? I created homogeneous groups, age, weight, height, income, and I categorized my data into these homogeneous groups, and I took some data from all of them. This is known as stratified sampling. Then I had cluster. I made clusters of my whole data, and I chose any cluster. This is known as cluster sampling. Then I took what is sampling distribution. From this population, I can pick 10 types of samples, right? Nobody said that I can take only one sample. I can take 10 types of samples from this whole population. Now, all these samples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, these 10 samples will have its own mean, will have its own central tendency. When I tabulate this, when I put this into these numbers into a table, this is known as sampling distribution. Now, each of this sample will be different from the mean of the total population, right? Total population mean, and these means will be different. I want to see how much each mean, sample mean, is deviated from my whole population mean. The difference between my sample mean and my whole population mean is known as standard error. This error is because of chance, sampling error, that you took a wrong sample. You took a smaller sample, you took a bigger sample, you took an inappropriate sample. This is standard error. Lower it is, good for us. Higher the sample I take, there will be lower sampling error, right? There will be lower sampling standard error. Clear now, Neeraj sir? Making sense? This is what we did till now. And for the standard error, the formula is standard deviation of the whole population divided by under root of number of population that I took, divided by under root of n. Thank you, Namrata ma'am, for confirming. Gauri sir, is it clear now? Neeraj sir, Gauri sir, is it clear now? Or should I repeat one more time? I have no problem, I'll repeat it for you. Because this is an important concept. You get formulas, you get questions from this unit. You get questions. Is it clear? Making sense now? Okay, thank you, Neeraj sir, for letting me know. Okay, moving on. Standard error of mean will be the formula I have told you. Standard deviation divided by under root of n. Now I have CLT, that is central limit theorem. What is central limit theorem? The midpoint. I have my whole population with me. I want to take the average of this whole population. Now, and I want to select an average on such a basis that this average should represent my whole population. So the mean of the sampling distribution of the mean will equal the population mean regardless of the sample size, even if the population is not normal. As the sample size increases, the sampling distribution of the mean will approach normality regardless of the shape of the population. This relationship between shape of the population distribution and the shape of the sample of the mean is called central limit theorem. Now that's a lot of English to understand, making no sense to us, ma'am. Okay. What we are saying here is, now understand, bigger the sample, less chances of error, because I had a whole population of 100 and I chose a sample of only 10. So the chances of error is very high, honestly. But what if I took a sample of 60? If I took a sample of 60, the chance error is reduced here. The chances of error is lesser compared to what was the chances of error in a smaller number. Now this relationship between my shape of the population distribution and the shape of sample, my population and my sample, the relationship between the sample and the population is known as CLT, central limit theorem. Actually, a sample does not have to be very large for the sampling distribution of the mean to approach normal. Statisticians use the normal distribution as an approximation to the sampling distribution. Whenever the sample is at least 30, but the sampling distribution where the sample size is at least 30. The significance of CLT is that it permits us to use sample statistics to make inference about population parameters without knowing anything about the shape of the frequency distribution of that population. Important for your MCQs. Important for your MCQs. For example, a band distribution has a mean of 19,000 and standard deviation of 2,000. If we draw a random sample of 30 tellers, what is the probability that their earnings will average more than 1970, 750 annually? Okay. First, I need to calculate what is my standard error. 2,000 divided by under root of 30, which will come to 365.16. Then from my Z table, I can very easily calculate my probability. So that will be my desired number minus my standard deviation mean divided by your standard error. Divided by a standard error, which will come to 2.05. So you have 2.05% probability that it lies in 1970-50. Making sense? Making sense? Okay. Sample mean is what? I took a sample and I want to understand what is the mean of it. I took a sample. This sample has 10 items in it. What will be the mean of my 10 items? Average. Sum all the items divided by 10. Now what is standard deviation? Standard deviation is nothing but how much each item is different from the mean of the item. That is standard deviation. Clear? Okay. Moving ahead. Finite population multiplier, very important for your exam for numericals. In tomorrow's class, we'll do more questions over it. But today, let me just do it in a normal way. Standard error of mean for finite population कैसे निकलेगा? N is your number of population and capital N is your size of the sample. No, size of population or size of sample. We are interested in a population of 20 textile companies of the same size, all of which are experiencing exclusive labor turnover. Standard deviation of the distribution of annual turnover is 75. So standard deviation is 75. If we sample 5 of these textiles, N is my 5, without replacement, then compute the standard error of the mean. So 75 divided by under root of 5, which will be how much? Which will be 33.54. I need to understand the finite population multiplier. So the finite population multiplier, the formula for it is under root of your capital N minus your small n, that is the whole population minus sample divided by population minus 1, divided by population minus 1. This is your formula. You multiply these and you get your multiplier, which is 29.8, So what is the formula? The formula is standard deviation, that is multiply by under root of population minus sample divided by population minus 1. This is your formula for finite population multiplier. Okay? Making sense? Let's move to our questions then. Should I repeat any concept till here? I'll repeat, no problem. If you have any doubts still here, then I'll repeat. Let's move to the questions then. Okay, question number 1 that I have for this unit. Okay, question number 5, let's see Who takes question number 5 home tonight? Just give me 1 second. Central theory, CTM said, what is the relationship between the whole population and your sample size? This is known as the relationship between your sample size and the whole population is CTM. Central theory, central limit theory, CLT. Okay, question number 5. Let's see who takes question number 5 tonight. Dr. Meena is conducting a national level study on adolescent health behavior in India. She designs a survey to be conducted across several states. In her plan, she selects 20,000 adolescents using a stratified sampling method, ensuring proportional representation by gender, region, and income group. Okay. Data is gathered through online questionnaires and direct interviews conducted both in urban and rural areas. Okay. Alongside this, she uses the National Family Health Survey report and WHO publication to compare trends from past years. Okay, she is using already published data, that is secondary data. Okay. Her team prepares a detailed budget as face-to-face interviews require travel and trained personnel. Finally, they publish the data and several research papers using insight gathered. Which of the following statements regarding Dr. Meena's study is correct? Okay, the NFS reports and WHO publications used in this study represent secondary data source. Okay, the NFSH, that is this, and WHO records used in the study represent secondary data. This is absolutely right. One is right. So wherever we have one should be the correct option. All the options have one. Okay. The use of stratified sampling instead of census limits the reliability of study findings. Since I have used strata and not census, then I cannot rely on this data more. Okay, I am not very sure about this information. Statement number 3, data collected through online questionnaires and interviews from adolescents is considered primary data. Whichever you have collected on your own, first-hand information is primary. This is correct. This is correct. Dr. Meena's data collected from respondents once published becomes secondary data for other researchers. See, my primary data and secondary data, I collected data from any source, let's say primary, secondary, and I published a report. And with this collection, and I made some analysis, I did some interpretation, and for interpretation, I created a report now. Now, this report is secondary data for somebody else. For other respondents, for other researchers, my report, which was primary for me, became secondary for somebody else. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. I made report first hand for myself, but for them, that is not first hand data. They will be relying on my information. So that is secondary data for them. The cost, okay, so we know third and fourth are correct. So wherever we have 3 and 4, we'll have to take that into account. So option number A absolutely goes to drain because it doesn't have 3 and 4. This might be correct, this might be correct, this might be correct. Okay. The cost and effort involved in collecting data directly through interviews support that primary data collection is usually more economical than secondary data collection. Oh, I am not very sure about this. They are saying that always we have seen that primary data is more economical as compared to secondary data collection. Now you tell me which of the following is correct. Option number A we know is not correct. B, C, D, you tell me which option will be correct as per your information. Okay. Namrata ma'am, your answer is not correct. Vijay sir, your answer, Vikas sir, your answer is not correct. Nandu sir, absolutely correct. Rukmani ma'am, very good. Dina sir, very good. Now, you tell me, I will take a lot of pain. I'll go to each household and collect some data. I'll collect from various sources. That will require more of my resources as compared to I download a report online. and I collect data from there. Which is more economical? You tell me. You cannot say that always primary will be cheaper. No, this is not what we are saying. In fact, primary requires more pain. It gives me more pain, right? So this is not correct. So wherever you have 5 goes to the drain. This is wrong. Okay. Now C and D, only 2 options are left. The use of stratified sampling instead of census limits the reliability of data. No. Who said that I cannot take a sample? I can take a sample. I never said that sample is a wrong thing. No. You can take a sample. So C will be the correct answer. 2 is not correct. Why is 2 incorrect? Because stratified sampling, when done properly, increases the representativeness. It is valid and reliable when a full census is impractical. Yes, it is absolutely right. And primary data is usually more expensive and time consuming due to fieldwork, unlike secondary data, which is readily available. So C is the correct answer. And Nandu sir took this question home. Nandu sir already has how much? 4 lakh with him, 5 more, implying 9 lakh rupees. Very good Nandu sir. क्या कीजिएगा इतनी धनराशि का? Okay. Next question. Question number 6 on your computer screens. Just give me 1 second. I'll just close the PPTs which are of no use to us now. Like unit 1 and unit 2 we have already done. Okay, moving ahead. Next question, question number 6 on your computer screens. Which of the following statements regarding classification and tabulation of data are correct? Classification involves arranging data into homogeneous groups based on shared characteristics, making the data easier to interpret. Very, very right. Absolutely correct. In a two-way classification, the data is categorized based on 3 different categories simultaneously. We have two-way classification and the criteria is 3 characteristics. Tabulation follows classification and helps present data in a systematic and comparable format. Absolutely right. First I collect, then I organize, that is I classify, then I make tables, then I put analysis on these tables, and at last I interpret. So yes, tabulation follows classification, that is right, and it helps to present the data in a systematic and comparable format, right? So 1 and 2 I am sure they are correct. So only 2 and 3 this is wrong. For 2 this is wrong. Two-way classification takes only 2 characteristics into account, not 3. So 2 is also incorrect. Option number B is your correct answer. Option number B is your correct answer. Namrata ma'am took this question home. Absolutely right. Oh no, sorry. I'm very sorry. I am unaware that who gave me the first answer. Oh, okay. So Chita Kaun Rani gave me the first answer. I'm very sorry, ma'am, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Very good, Swaraj sir. Very good, Deena sir, Namrata ma'am, Rukmani ma'am, Neeraj sir, Gauri Gao sir. Very, very, very good. Very good. So the correct answer is B. Statement 1 is correct, absolutely right. You put it into homogeneous groups or classes with simplified analysis and interpretation. 2 is wrong. Only 2 characteristics are taken. Multi-way classification. Only 2-way for two-way classification, and if you have 3 characteristics, it will go to into multi-way classification. 3 is correct. Okay. Next question, and who gave this first question? Chita ma'am. So Chita ma'am gave this answer 6 lakh rupees to her. Next question, question number 7. Given the following frequency distribution of marks obtained by students, this is my class interval, this is my frequency, which of the following is or are correct? Okay, before I take you to this question, I will have to take you to unit number 3. Okay, Rani ma'am, got it. I'll call you Rani ma'am. Thank you so much for making my life easier, ma'am. I'll have to take you to unit 3 now. Unit 3 will tell us what is frequency, what are class marks, what is frequency distribution, etc., etc. That is covered in unit number 3. So let me take you to unit 3 then. Okay, before I take you to unit 3, I am giving you some water break. You have 2 minutes with, okay, you have 3 minutes with you. Go have some water and come back. Go ahead, you have 2 minutes break with you. Any doubts? I am sitting here. You guys can go and have your break. I am sitting here. If you have any sort of doubt, you can ask me. Any doubt, anybody? Ma'am, will the PDF be available in Telegram after the session? Yes, yes. You will get the PDFs. Don't worry, Bharti ma'am. Okay. Any other doubts? Otherwise, I'll also go for a water break. Even my equipment needs some grease out here. Okay. So yes, I am back. Okay, let's start then. Unit number 3. Okay. Nandu sir, for Telegram, you will get a link in the comment box. Okay, so everybody, before we start with unit number 3, requesting you to please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. Like the video, please. And share the video with your fellow bankers so that they can also take advantage of this. And we'll know how much competition you have. Right? जल्दी से लाइक तो बनता है, देखो लाइक शेयर तो बनता है, राइट? चलिए आ जाइए देन. Let's move to unit 3. So what is unit 3 saying? Am I audible, everybody? Is everybody back to the class? Am I audible? Please let me know. Is everybody back? Please let me know, am I audible? Like and thank you, Nandu sir. Okay. Thank you, Rani ma'am. Thank you so much for letting me know, Deena sir. Okay, let's move ahead then. Unit number 3 we are starting, and unit number 3 is all about class intervals, frequencies, everything. For unit number 3, to summarize it, let me give you when I have my data with me. Unit number 3 is all about central tendencies, skewness, and discretions. Okay, what are my central tendencies? Central tendencies are my central tendency can be divided into 3 parts. First is your mean, second is your median, and third is your mode. Now this is a relatively very big unit. Unit number 3 is actually very big unit. When I taught this in the session classes, in the paid classes, we actually covered this into multiple classes, unit number 3. But just to summarize it for you, I am telling you central tendency, most important for exam, very important for your exam, can be categorized into 3 major points: mean, median, and mode. Now this mean can also be subcategorized into arithmetical mean, that is the normal mean, average. Then we have geometrical mean and harmonic mean. This is how you can subcategorize it. This is all about mean. What is median? Median is nothing but the midpoint of your whole distribution. The whole distribution that you have, and the midpoint if you want to find out for your distribution in such a fashion, in such a manner that this, when you pick this midpoint, number of values before it and number of values after it should be equal. Like if I have a series of, let's say, 9 items with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I should be able to pick a number in such a fashion, the midpoint in such a fashion, the number above it and number below it is same. So number above it is 4, number below it is 4, implying this is the exact midpoint of this series. This is known as median. That's it. Mode. And what is mode? The data, the item with highest frequency is your mode. Any item with highest frequency will be your mode. This is something that you should know about your median and mode. But most important for this unit is mean and quartiles. Quartiles, mean, median, very important for exams. So now let's start with central tendency. Central tendency and dispersions are most common and widely used statistical tools. First of all, you should understand what are central tendency. These are my stats tools. Because we have larger quantities, we cannot handle them. We want to summarize this, concise this data into one singular number. What if I tell you I have 10 items with me? I cannot work with 10 items. I need one number representing these 10 items. That is why central tendency came into existence. I have a population of say 1000 items. I cannot work with 1000 items. I want to know on an average what is representing this 1000 items. I have a class of, let's say, 65 students. These 65 students may have different marks in each semester. I want to understand on an average how is my class performing. On an average, one unit concising my data, that on an average your class is getting 80% marks. So what did I do? I concised my data population of 65 into one number, that is central tendency, a single value. I want to, which handles large quality data and reduces the data to single value used for doing comparative studies and draw conclusion with accuracy and clarity. Central tendency works like that. Okay. Objective क्या है? We want to condense the data to facilitate comparison. In other words, the tendency of data to cluster around central or mid value is called central tendency. Now, how my values are clustering about this around my mid value is known as central tendency. There are different types of averages. Each has its own advantage and disadvantage. Now, important for your exam, what are a prerequisite or requisite for a good measure of central tendency? When I will say that this measure is a good central tendency, when it should be rigidly defined. There is a proper formula, proper definition for it. It is simple to understand and easy to calculate. It is a good central tendency. It is based on all observations of the data. All observations. This number should represent all observations of the data. Good central tendency. It is capable of further mathematical treatments. I can further treat it with mathematic formulas. It should be least affected by fluctuations in sampling. It should not be unduly affected by extremes. Like in my data, I have plus 100 and negative 1000. Extremes. I have plus, I have minus. Extreme datas. And my central tendency should not be affected by them. But sadly, 95% of central tendency that we learn here are affected by extremes. And it should be easy to interpret. There are three major central tendencies that we have: mean, median, and mode. Mean is the average and it is most commonly used. Arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean. For example, consider the marks scored by 10 students. N is 10. These are the marks. The arithmetic mean is 30. Find the value of x. Find the value of x. Can I do that? Yes, I know the formula, that 35 plus 30 plus 18 plus 15 plus 40 plus 30 plus 52 plus x plus 47 plus 10 divided by 10 will be equal to 30. Can I calculate x? Yes, very simply, x is 23. So that is how you will get the questions. So arithmetic mean is nothing but sum of my x items divided by sum of my n. This is sum of x divided by n. This is known as your mean for ungrouped or raw data. Ungrouped data or raw data. What is ungrouped data? That I have no groupings, I have no class intervals. Now what is grouped data? Let me explain that also to you. What is grouped data? When I can put my data into some class intervals, this is known as grouped data. And I can assign frequency to this data. Here I have class intervals 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. And I have frequency assigned to it which is other than 1. Then this is known as grouped data. Okay? For such data, what you need to do is, first you calculate class mark. Class mark is the midpoint of this class. So 0 to 10, what is the midpoint? 0 plus 10 divided by 2. 5 is the midpoint. 10 to 20, what is the midpoint? 20 plus 10 divided by 2, that is 15, and so on. For every class interval, you can find a class mark, midpoint. You have frequency with it. So how do I calculate mean for such a data? Sum of f into x. First step is I'll calculate frequency into your x, that is your class mark. I'll calculate f into x. 5 into 5, 25. 15 into 8, 25 into 12, 35 into 20, and 45 into 5. Then I calculate the sum of this fx. Sum of this fx divided by sum of your f, divided by sum of your frequency. whatever this amount is, you divide it by here, and this will give you the mean of your grouped data. For your group data, this is your mean. For your group data, this is your mean. Doubt still here? Any doubt still here that how do I calculate mean for my arithmetic mean, for my group data and for my ungrouped data? Ungrouped data is very simple. You take a sum of all the items divided by number of items. For your group data, you find the class mark, the mid value of your class, multiply it with your frequency, take a sum of this and divide it by the sum of your frequencies. This is your mean for your arithmetic mean for your group data. Making sense? If it is making sense, please give me a thumbs up. If it is not making sense to you, give me a thumbs down. I'll repeat it for you. If you want me to repeat, give me a thumbs down. I'll repeat it for you. No is for what? No, ma'am, no doubt. No, ma'am, please repeat. I am unable to understand. If this made sense, give me a thumbs up. If you want me to repeat, give me a thumbs down. Simple. We have very limited time with us tonight. No doubt. Okay, no doubt. Okay. Moving ahead then. Arithmetic mean, simplest and most widely used measure for mean or average. Simple, I've told you the formula for it. We are done example. Now let's do another example. The formula for group data. Let's do an example for this as well. And the arithmetic mean for the following: you have data and you have frequency. You have data, you have frequency. What will you do? You will find, first step is you find fx. 5 into 1, 2 into 6, 3 into 5, 4 into 10, 5 into 8, 6 multiplied by 4, 7 multiplied by 3, product of 8 and 2, which will come to 173, divided by the sum of your frequency, which is 43. So the mean is always represented by this x bar. X bar is always represented by mean. So your standard error was represented by how? Difference, right? Always remember, because you might get questions. So it will be 173 divided by 43, which will come to 4.02. Next question. Then we have combined arithmetic mean. Combined arithmetic mean. You have first mean as x1. You have second mean as x2. Sample number 1, let's say, has x bar 1. Sample number 2 has mean, let's say, x bar 2. Sample size n1, sample size n2. This first sample has size n1. The second sample has n2 as its size. What will be the combined mean? Combined will be sample size of 1 into mean of 1 plus sample size of mean 2 into mean of sample second divided by sample size 1 plus sample size 2. That is combined mean. Let's do an example. Average marks of a group of 100 students in mathematics are 60. N1 is 100 and x1 is 60. Other group of 50 students, N2. The average marks are 90. That is x bar 2. Find the average marks of the combined groups. So it will be n bar 1 and n1 into x bar 1 plus n2 into x bar 2 divided by n1 plus n2, which will come to 70. Okay. For example, again same thing. Then what are the merits of arithmetic mean? It is rigidly defined. Okay, good, easy to calculate and simple to follow based on all observations. Determined for almost every kind of data. Finite and indefinite. Readily put to algebraic treatment and least affected by fluctuation. So it is overall a good central tendency. मोटा मोटा तो अच्छा लग रहा है हमें, but limitations होंगी कुछ definitely. So what are the limitations for this? It is highly affected by extreme values. In my population, in my class, I got students who have got negative marking. I have got students who've got 90 plus. I have got students who are performing on an average 60, 50. I've got students who are achieving 99. So my average will be affected by my extremes. It will never show me true picture. On an average, students are performing below 60, not even first class. But because of extremes, I'll get a good result. So it is highly affected by extreme values. It cannot average the ratios and percentages properly. Very important. You cannot take average for ratios and percentages. It is not appropriate average for highly skewed distribution. If the distribution is highly variate, highly spread, then you cannot take, like this is highly spread, you cannot take a good average. It cannot be computed accurately if items are missing. The mean solution does not coincide with any of the observed value. Whatever mean I'll have, it will not coincide with any other value. It is not a good true measure. Mean cannot be calculated with open-ended class intervals and present in the data. Now my question should be, what are open-ended classes? Okay. Now let's take some time and understand what are open-ended classes, what are close-ended classes, what are inclusive classes, what are exclusive classes. Understand. I can start my series from open-ended classes. This could be up to 5 years old, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and above 20. You tell me one thing, is there a range of what is above 20? Above 20 could go till, I don't know, 100, 200, 500. Is there a upper limit? Or when I talk about up to 5, is there a lower limit that is defined? No. Lower limit and upper limit. Could be this, could be this. Any one. Then this is known as open-ended classes. Maybe I had 20 to 25 upper limit as this. Then too this was open-ended, because this in this lower limit was not defined. If I did not have this, I had 0 to 5 and I wrote it as above 20. Then also this was open-ended because the upper limit was not defined. So either the lower limit is not defined or the upper limit is not defined. This is known as open-ended classes. These are known as open-ended classes. Okay. Now, what is lower limit, what is upper limit? We understand that. Now, I'm giving you one example. 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, 5, 7, 8, 9. Frequency. These are my class intervals. Can you spot that 10 is coming twice? 20 is also coming twice. 30 is also coming twice, and so on. When you have a number which is included in more than one class interval, when you have a number which is in more than one class interval, this is known as exhaustive or exclusive series. This is known as exclusive series, meaning the upper limits of every class interval is not included in this limit. So when I am saying that 0 to 10 in this class interval, 5 items are included, it means these 5 included will be these 5 items which are included. The frequency 5 implies is that the number might be 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. 10 is not included in this limit. 10 is included in the next limit here, lower limit. Because upper limits are not included in exclusive style. Implying 20 is not included here. 30 is not included here. 40 is not included in this class. This is known as exclusive series. But on the other hand, if I write series like this, 0 to 9, 10 to 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50. No number is repeated. No number is repeated, implying that this is inclusive series. Now, whatever the frequency is, that frequency includes the upper limit and the lower limit. Both the limits are included. Maybe this is 6, this is 5, this is whatever. So this is known as inclusive series. But sadly, these series, we cannot apply our formulas, our stats to it. We have to convert our inclusive series into our exclusive series. And how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you convert your inclusive series to your exclusive series? You will have to take the difference between the upper limit of the first class, and lower limit second class, lower limit, minus first class upper limit divided by 2. So 11 minus 10 divided by 2, that is 1 divided by 2, that is 0.5. So now you will adjust 0.5 to the lower limit and upper limit. What you will do is you will add this to the lower limit and subtract this from the upper limit. So it will be 0.5 till 9.5 and it should be 1 to 10, not 0 to 10. Only then the series will be same, right? Only then the series will be same. So it will be 0.5. You will subtract from lower limit and add to the upper limit. So 0.5 till 10.5, 10.5 till 20.5, 20.5 till 30.5. So what did I do? I subtracted 0.5 from the lower limit and I added 0.5 to the upper limit. Is this making sense, everybody? Is this making sense? Please let me know. How did I convert my inclusive series to my exclusive series? I took the difference between the continuous upper limit and lower limit divided by 2 and I adjusted it to the lower limit and upper limit. This is what I did here. Clear? Okay. Then now moving ahead. Now I have my geometric mean with me. What is geometric mean? Geometric mean is the average value or mean which the central tendency of the set of number by taking the root of the product of their value. Important. How did I find geometric mean? I took a root of the product of the values. So value number 1 into value number 2 into value number 3 and I took a root of it. That occurs from the period of data. Geometric mean is always less than arithmetic mean. So arithmetic mean will always be higher than your geometric mean. And it is calculated only for positive values. Important for MCQs. Important for MCQs that geometric mean is calculated only for positive values. These are very important in your day-to-day lives because you use them in your stock indices. You use to calculate annual returns of your portfolio. It is used in the field of finance, growth rate, compounded annual growth rate. It is used to do studies like cell division and bacterial growth. The formula is under root of product x1, x2, x3, nth root, not just under root, nth root. If I have 2 items, I'll take a square root. If I have 3 items, I'll take a cube root. If I have 4 items, I'll take 4th root of my 4 items. Product of these 4 items, right? So that is how you move. Okay. So let's find the GM of the values. 10, 24, 15, 32, I have 4 items, so I'll have to take 4th root. So how do I take 4th root? 10 into 24 into 15 into 32. And then you calculate the 4th root, which will come to 18.423, right? And if it is group data, this was for group data. What will I do for group data? Very, very, very simple. Each item you will calculate the frequency will be calculated as its exponent. So 1 power 5, which is 1, 2 exponent 6, which will be 64, 3 exponent 5, which will be 243, 4 exponent 10, which will be 1048576. You take a sum of my frequency, which will come to n. So it will be 26th root, because why do I need this? For finding the root. So 26th root of 1 into 64 into 243 into 1048576, and you find out your answer. That is how you calculate for grouped data. Now merits, it is useful in construction of index numbers. It is not much affected by your sampling fluctuation. It is based on all observations. It cannot be easily understood, not easily calculated as well. It is relatively difficult to compute as it requires some specific knowledge of algorithm. Then lastly, I have my harmonic mean with me. It is approximate measure of central tendency when we have ratios of two variables. Very important. Where do you use harmonic mean? When you have ratios of two variables and have different measures, and all my units have different measures. It is used to calculate average of ratios or rates. Important. Ratios निकालनी है, rates निकालनी है, उसका average निकालना है तो harmonic mean. It is used in finance to find different rates. It is used to calculate quantities such as speed, because two different things are used for calculating speed, kilometer and hour, two different measures, right? And what is the formula? Very important for your exam. The formula is n divided by sum of your 1 by x. Sum of 1 by x. Very difficult. No, it is not difficult, believe me. Now this is not the correct formula. If you want to ask me, the formula is n divided by sum of frequency divided by x. Just that in your ungrouped data, the frequency is always 1. That is why for ungrouped data we take frequency as 1 divided by x. In reality, the difference between grouped data and ungrouped data is what? For ungrouped data, the frequency is 1. For grouped data, the frequency may be 1 or other than 1. That's it. So let's put it to trial. Find the harmonic mean of 10, 24, 15, 32. So there are 4 items. 4 divided by 1 on 10 plus 1 on 24 plus 1 on 15 plus 1 on 32. The frequency of 10 is 1. The frequency of 24 is 1. The frequency of 15 is 1. And frequency of 32 is 1. And I calculate it and it will come to 16.667. If I have to go for grouped data, it will be n divided by frequency divided by x. Isn't it the same? Yes, it is the same. You will see for every formula that we have done till here, it is same. Frequency is just 1 in ungrouped data. So it will be, the sum of my frequency is 26. So n will be 26 divided by 5 divided by 1 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 5 divided by 3 plus 10 divided by 4. And you find the harmonic mean. You'll always see, if you want to have a comparison, your arithmetic mean will always be greater than harmonic mean, which will be indeed greater than your geometric mean, implying geometric mean is lowest of all these 3. If I give you a formula, so arithmetic mean into harmonic mean will give you geometric square, and you can find any. You have to learn this. Yes, you have to learn this for your exam. So this was about mean. Any doubt till here? If no doubt, then I'll start with median. I'll start with my second central tendency, which is median. Okay, starting with my second central tendency, which is your median. Just give me 1 second. Okay, any doubts still here? Anybody? Okay. Now the second central tendency is your median. I've already told you what is median. Median is the midpoint of your series. What you have to do is you have to arrange this series into ascending order or descending order, and then you have to find the midpoint. Let me share my PPT also with you. Unit 3, yeah. So median is your middle value of the distribution. Median is your middle value. So the value of the variable, so that equal number, you divide the series into equal number. The formula will be different for your odd number and for your even number. Because for your odd number, you will have 1 point which will divide your series into 2 equal halves. So my formula for finding my median is nth item, n plus 1th item divided by 2. My series is of 9 items, let's say. So 9 plus 1 divided by 2. So my 5th item will be the median. 5th item of this series will be my median. Okay. And for even numbers, if I have 10 observations with me, so it will be, median will be n by 2th observation, that is 10 by 5th observation, plus n by 2th plus 1 observation, which is n by 2, that is 10 by 5 plus 1th observation. You find out what is the 5th observation and what is the 6th observation, and you divide it by 2. This observation plus this observation, you take a mean of these two observation, that will be your median. That will be your median. If I have to do the example, find the median of 20, 34, 32, 48, 38, 24, 30, 27, 21, 35. N is 9. What you have to do is arrange it into your ascending order. I arrange the data into ascending order. Since it is odd number, it will be n plus 1 divided by 2. That is 9 plus 1 divided by 2. That is 5th item. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 32 is the median. 32 is the median. What if, let me add one more, let's add one more item to this, one more observation to this series. Okay. Add 46. Okay. 49. Okay. I have one more item. Now my n is 10. Now my n is 10. Find the median, please. So the median will be n by 2th item plus n by 2th item plus 1. So n by 2, that is 10 by 2th item plus 10 by 2th item plus 1th item, which is 5th item plus 6th item. 5th item is how much? 32. 6th item is how much? 34 divided by 2. This is my median, which will be 33. So 33 is my median for even number of series. For your even number of series. Understanding what we did here? Understanding what we did here? This is basic stats. Basic stats. बेसिक सा मैथ है. मैंने क्या करा, मेरा जो नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशन है वो इवन नंबर है 10. सो no item will divide it into 2 equal halves, right? So what I have to do is I find my n by 2th item, that is the 5th item. I find my n by 2th plus 1 item, that is my 6th item. So 32 and 34, 5th item, 6th item. And I take an average of this. So 32 plus 34 divided by 2, that is my median. 33 is my median, even though it is not in the series, and it will never be in the series, believe me. Okay. Moving ahead. For my grouped data, it is important, very, very important. The formula for my grouped data, very important. You make your series into your class intervals. You find your class intervals, okay? What you do is you calculate your cumulative frequency. What is cumulative frequency? You take the frequency of that class, add the frequency of the next class, you get your cumulative frequency. So 8 plus 26, 34, 34 plus 30, 64, 64 plus 20, 84, 84 plus 16, 100. That is your sum of n, sum of f, same, right? That means we are going in the right direction. You find your median class. How do I find my median class? I find my median class by doing n by 2. N is 100. 100 by 2. This is my median class. That is 50 wherever the item 50 is falling, wherever the item 50 is falling, that frequency 50 is falling, basically wherever the frequency 50 is falling, that is my median class. That will be my median class. So you see, where is frequency 50 falling? Frequency 8 is falling in this class. This we do not have to take. Till frequency 34, this class entertains. No. I want frequency where 50th frequency is following. Now this is the class where more than 34, less than 64. So this is the class where 50th item will come, right? So this is my median class. This is my median class. So the formula is lower limit of this class, that is 40, plus upper limit minus lower limit, 50 minus 40 into n by 2, that is 100 by 2, minus cumulative frequency of the class preceding the class, preceding the median class, that is minus 34, divided by frequency of your own class. Frequency of your own class is 30. Frequency of your own class. This will give you the median. This will give you the median. Is this clear to everybody? Is this clear to everybody? Please let me know in the comment section. Same way as you find the quartiles. What are quartiles? You divide the whole data into equal 4. Like you divide the whole year into equal 4 quarters. Same ways you divide the whole data into 4 equal quartiles. Q1, Q2, Q3. Q1 is your 25%. Q2 is equal to your median, that is 50%. And Q3 is your 75%. Same ways for N, the formula will remain same. For Q1, it will be N by 2. For Q1, it will be 1 by 2. For Q2, it will be N by 2. And for Q3, it will be 3N by, I'm sorry. For your Q1, N by 2 will be replaced by N by 4. For Q2, N by 2 will be replaced by 2N by 4, that is N by 2. And for your Q3, your N by 2 will be replaced by 3N by 4, because it is divided into 4 equal parts. Okay. Rukmini ma'am is saying, please explain this once more. Okay, let me take one new example for you. I have my classes with me. Okay. Now each class has a frequency 6, 8, 15, 4. I have to find my cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency is your frequency plus your next frequency. 14. 14 plus 15 will be how much? 29. 29 plus 4 will be how much? 33. And if you take the sum of your frequency, it will also be 33. Right? I need to find my N by 2 to find my median class. So 33 by 2. What is 33 by 2? 1 and 6.5. 16.5. What do you think? Where does 16.5 falls in the frequency? 16, not here, but here. Why here? Because till 14th it is here. After 14th it will come here. So the lower limit will be 30 plus upper limit minus lower limit multiplied by N by 2. 33 by 2 minus cumulative frequency of the class preceding your median class divided by frequency of the class of your median class. This will be your median. This will be your median. Got it? Got it now, Rukmani ma'am? How did we find our median? How CF is calculated? I just told you, Neeraj sir, how CF is calculated. You take your own frequency, add the frequency of the next class interval, then get the frequency of that class interval. Add for the next, you get for the next. Got it now, Neeraj sir? Same is for quartiles. Is this clear to everybody? If this is clear, and then I'll explain you how quartiles are taken into account. This is very simple. In my class, I always tell you don't have to mug up anything. Just have to go by logics. For your quartiles, what is happening is, what you are doing is, for median also, the quartiles, what quartiles we do is, I have my whole data. Then I divide this whole data into 4 equal halves, into 4 equal parts. Sorry, this is known as quartile. Now my first quartile will represent 25%. My second quartile, known as Q2, will represent 50%, 25 plus 25. And my third quartile will represent 75%, right? So don't you think quartile 2 will be equal to your median? It should be equal to my median. So the formula is exactly same for quartiles, except that we found our median class by doing n by 2. Here our median class will change. In this form, for each quartile, your median class will change. Your quartile class will change. How? For your quartile 1, n by 2, instead of n by 2, you will take n by 4 for calculating your class and in the formula. For quartile 2, your formula will be n by 2, 2n by 4, that is n by 2. Okay. For quartile 3, your class will be found by 3n by 4. That is how you will find your class, the median class, the quartile class, and then you can put it into your formula. That is exactly what quartile is. Okay. First quartile is 25, second is another 25, which will be 50, another 25 will be 75, and the formula will be same. So how do I calculate? How do I calculate Q1, Q2, Q3 for my ungrouped data? It should be exactly same like I did for my this thing. Same formula, exactly same formula that I applied for my median. Then for mod, highest frequency is my mod. Highest frequency, the number with highest frequency is my mod. And for your grouped data, the formula is lower limit plus the class with highest, frequency. This is your model class. So lower limit of this class plus lower limit minus upper limit into frequency. F1 is your own frequency, F0 is frequency preceding you, and F2 is frequency after you. This is F1 is my own frequency, F0 is before me, and F2 is after me, right? 0, 1, 2, me, before me and after me. Let's do a question. These are my classes. The class with the highest frequency will be my model class, 40 to 50. Putting into formula, 40 plus upper limit minus lower limit, multiply by my own frequency, 30, minus frequency preceding me, divided by twice of my own frequency minus frequency preceding me minus frequency succeeding me. Frequency preceding me, frequency succeeding me, and I get my mod. Okay. Merits and demerits, we have the relationship. This you have to learn. Mod will be equal to thrice of your median minus twice of your mean. Then we have dispersion. Dispersion is what? Dispersion is nothing but how much your each item is deviated from your central tendency. Now I know central tendency is my average, is an average, a point which is representing the whole population, right? I want to understand how much each item x1, x2, x3 is deviated around this central tendency. This is known as dispersion. Now, how do I find absolute dispersions? By finding range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, standard deviation. And relative measures are coefficient of range, coefficient of quartile deviation, coefficient of mean deviation, coefficient of your standard deviation. What are the formulas for these? We'll do it in our tomorrow's class, where we'll do all practical questions. Now this is what was about your unit 3. Now let's do questions for unit 3. Now let's do questions for, okay, wait. Give me 1 minute. Where is my PPT for, okay, here it is. ठीक है, आ जाओ भाई सभी लोग, आ जाइए. Let's do the questions then. Question number 7. Clear, everybody is saying clear. Thank you for letting me know, everybody. Now let's move to the questions then. Any doubt till here? Then I'll see these questions, whatever questions we are doing are basically just a summation of the whole unit. Why I'm giving you the whole unit all together? Because of course I don't want to keep any information from you. Anything can be asked from the module, right? So I want to give you the whole information of the whole unit. And the questions are what are major repeated questions, right? We have done a different set in our paid classes where we have done a lot of questions out there. A lot more questions. Ajo then. Let's do question number 7 and let's see who gets maximum marks out here. देखते हैं कौन लेके जाएगा क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 अपने साथ. क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 बोल रहा है लकी नंबर 7 कौन लेके जाएगा 7 लाख अपने साथ. आइए जानते हैं कंप्यूटर स्क्रीन पर. गिवन द फॉलोइंग फ्रीक्वेंसी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन of marks obtained by students, class intervals दिए हैं, frequencies दी हैं. Which of the following student statement is or are correct? The relative frequency of class 20 to 30 is 0.3125. Okay. The percentage frequency of class 30 to 40 is 20%. The class mark of the interval 10 to 20 is 15. Okay, that is making sense. अभी तक मुझे तो सिर्फ एक ही जो मैम हमने अभी तक आपने मुझे पढ़ाया उसके हिसाब से तो सिर्फ स्टेटमेंट नंबर 3 अभी तक हमें समझ आई है. क्लास मार्क मतलब मिड पॉइंट, वो 10 to 20 का मिड पॉइंट 15 ही होगा क्योंकि 10 + 20 डिवाइडेड बाय 2 विच विल बी 15. सो स्टेटमेंट नंबर 3 तो भैया बिल्कुल सही है. स्टेटमेंट नंबर 4, द फ्रीक्वेंसी डेंसिटी ऑफ द क्लास 30 to 40 is 0.8. हम ये भी आपने नहीं बताया हमको कि कैसे निकालें. Okay, the total frequency of the distribution is 30. Okay, total frequency. Let's take a total. 6 plus 10, 10, 10 plus 10, 20 plus 10, 30. Okay, this is also correct. So we know for a fact that 3 and 5 are correct. So whichever has 3 and 5 should be correct. So यहाँ पे 5 नहीं है तो ये भी हटा दो, यहाँ पर भी 5 नहीं है तो ये भी हटा दो. A 50-50 lifeline I have given to you. Either B is correct or D is correct. Okay. Either B is correct or D is correct. Now let's find out which is more better. Okay. Understand, to find out what is relative frequency, you need to find out what is total frequency. The formula for relative frequency is frequency of my class as compared to total frequency. This is what I want to find out for my relative, that in relation to the total frequency, what percentage do I hold? That is relative frequency. Very good. I can see correct answer. Rani ma'am, very good. Namrata ma'am, very proud of you. Nandu sir, your answer is not correct. Deena sir, very good. Rukmini ma'am, very good. Now let's do it for others who are unable to do it. To find out, I can see all my paid batch students are doing wonderful out here. So for your relative frequency, I just need to find out how much my class interval is doing as compared, relatively how I am doing as compared to total. ऐसे तो बोलते हैं relatively how we are doing, comparatively how we are doing, right? So if I want to find out what is relative frequency, so relative frequency will be your class frequency, not cumulative frequency, class frequency divided by total frequency. So my class frequency for 20 to 30 is 10 as compared to 30, which is what? 1 by third, 33.33, which is not this. 31.25 थोड़ी आएगा. 0.3333 होता तो correct भी होता. So this is not correct. Okay, so wherever there is 1, that is incorrect. So wherever there is 1, that is incorrect. Okay. Okay, just give me 1 second. I think there is something wrong. Okay, okay, next. What is the percentage frequency of 30 to 40? Percentage frequency for 30 to 40 will be 8 divided by 30 into 100, which will come to 26.27. 26.67%, which is not correct. Again, not correct. Then the frequency density of 30 to 40 is 0.8. Now, how do I calculate frequency density? Now, frequency density is frequency of the class divided by class width. What is class width? Class width is how much difference do you have from upper limit to lower limit. So, 30 to 40 class width will be 10. 20 to 30 class width will be 10. 10 to 20 class width will be 10. 0 to 10 class width 10. So, the class width for this series is 10. Okay. So, frequency divided by your class width will be your frequency distribution. So, frequency is how much? 8 divided by 10 is your 0.8 is your correct statement. So, 2, 4 and 5 are correct. 2, 4 and 5, 3, 4 and 5 are correct. I have no such option with me. Then what? The nearest option for me is B. So it should be 3, 5 and 4 are correct. 4, 3 and 5 are correct. You'll have to change the option. Then I have to select C. Honestly, you have to select the nearest option which is correct to us. We know for sure that 2 is not correct. 5 is not correct. We know for sure 3 and 5 are correct. So that is why we chose B. All statements are not correct. So B we took. I'll change the option here. It should be 4. Instead of 1, it should be 4 here. Okay. So this question, okay, dispersion concept, ma'am, like range. Okay, for dispersion concept, Neeraj sir will do it in tomorrow's class where we'll take all numerical questions. Okay, everybody else absolutely right. Your answer was great. Rani ma'am took this question home. Okay, 7 lakh for Rani ma'am here, and how much she was having in the previous questions? 6 lakhs before this. So she has 13 lakhs. Okay, Rani ma'am is in the lead, everybody. Rani ma'am is in the lead. Okay, next question number 8. So yes, option number B is correct because statement 1 is incorrect. Relative frequency, first we need to find the total frequency and frequency of the class divided by total frequency, which will come to 0.33 and not 0.31. 2 is incorrect because 8 divided by 30 into 100, which will be 26.67. 3 is correct. We know this is this. 4 is correct because density is frequency divided by class width, which is 48 divided by 10, which is also correct. And 5 is correct. Frequency is 30. Question number 8 on your computer screens, everybody. Which of the following statements are correct in concept of sample, stats and data collection in business decisions? Okay. A parameter is a numerical measure that describes the sample, while a stats is used to describe the entire population. You tell me whether this is correct or not. I've already told you what is a parameter. You collect parameter from your population. You collect your parameter from your population. So this is wrong. Statement number 1 is not correct. Makes no sense, right? A parameter is a numerical measure which is described from a sample. No, parameter is taken from entire population. Wrong. And stat is applied to sample. So one is incorrect. So wherever you have one, you have to cross it out. Okay, two lifeline. I have taken the lifeline already. That is how you do the questions, really. You take one statement and you feel this is incorrect, you're sure about it, eliminate the answers which are not right. Best to best this technique best technique to mark the correct answers is you see what is not correct and you eliminate that option. Best way to find your answers. Okay. Sampling is necessary in situations where testing the entire population is impracticable due to time or cost constraint. Absolutely correct that you take sample when the entire population starts is just impractical and you want to save your time and money. Rest. This is 2 is correct. Okay. So 2 is correct here, 2 is correct here. We cannot eliminate anyone here now. Judgment sampling is based on random selection, which ensures statistical rigor and unbiased representation. You tell me, this is what I told you. Is this what I told you? That in judgment, there is no bias. No. In random sampling, there is no bias. In judgment, I am applying my judgment. That means I am biased, which is wrong. Which is wrong. So, statement number 3 is wrong. Statement number 3 is wrong. In the two options that I have to choose, this has 3 in it. So, statement number 1 is correct, right? By default, 1 is correct. But we have option number A is correct. But we have to find why 5 and 6. Why 4? What about 4, 5, 6? We should see. Random or probability sampling allows every item in the population to have a chance of being selected. Absolutely right. A biased sample can lead to misleading conclusions even if the data is accurately corrected. Yes, bilkul sahi. In stats notation, population parameters are typically represented by Greek or capital letters, while sample statistics use lowercase random. Yes, this is also correct. This is also correct. So, option number A is correct because parameter refers to characteristics of population and stats refers to characteristics of sample. 2 is correct. 3 is incorrect because judgment is personal judgment or experience. 4 correct. 5 is correct and 6 is correct by convention. Greek or capital letters for population and lower letters for sample. Because sample is a wider unit. Population is a wider unit. Sample is a smaller unit. Okay. Now let's see who gave the answer first. Okay. For this question, I think Deena sir took 8 lakh rupees home. Congratulations, Deena sir. Very good. Gauri Go sir. Very good. Rani ma'am. Very good. Nandu sir. Very good. Nagar sir. Very good. Very, very good. Let's move ahead with the next question. So, who took this question home? Deena sir. Okay. क्या कीजिएगा सर इतनी धनराशि का 8 lakh rupees into your bank account? So, Deena sir took 8 lakh rupees. Next question. Question number 9. Which of the following statements are true regarding various random sampling methods? Unit 2. Okay, in simple random sampling, each possible sample has equal probability of being selected and so does each individual item in the population. Absolutely right. बिल्कुल सही है बात. बिल्कुल सही है. Simple random sampling में हर item के पास equal chance है of being selected. This is true. Okay, this is correct. So, I know this is correct. Whichever option doesn't have 1, I'll cross it out. This doesn't have 1, I'll cross it out. So, statement number 1 ही तो गलत है भैया, बिल्कुल ही. Okay. Systematic sampling ensures both equal chance for each item and each possibility combination to be selected. This is, what do you think? This is right or not? What do you think? This is right or not? This is not correct. This is not correct. Yes, each item has equal chance of being selected because the initial point could be anything. But each combination has a equal chance of being selected? No, the combinations can be anything. Each combination sample does not have equal chance of being selected. So this is incorrect. This is incorrect. So wherever you have 2, cross it out. I have 2 here, crossing it out. Stratified sampling is best when the population is divided into internally homogeneous but manually heterogeneous groups. You tell me whether this is correct or not. You tell me this is correct or not. This is absolutely right, because stratified sampling, you create strata or subdivisions that are internally similar but externally different. For example, I made strata for age, weight, income, height. Externally these groups are different, but internally they are. In the age strata, you'll have only ages, homogeneous, similar data. In income strata, you have only income, similar data. But age and income are 2 different things. Outer stratas are hetero, but inner, each strata is homo. Right? So this is also wrong. This is also right. This is also right. So this is right. Wherever I have C, this is right. 3 is right. So wherever I don't have 3, I should cross it out. I don't have 3 here. I should cross out D. So C is my correct answer by default. But let's go ahead and see what other are to say. In sampling with replacement, the same elements may appear more than once in the sample. Yes, correct. Cluster sampling, if you replace sample, then one item can, occur more than once. That is right. Cluster sampling is more suitable when the population groups are internally diverse but structurally similar to each other. Yes. You create clusters. These clusters are similar to each other. This is just opposite of strata, which is actually correct. Systematic sampling cannot introduce any bias or sampling error regardless of data's pattern. Wrong. There will be bias. There will be bias. Okay. In stats interference, all sampling methods are equivalent and treated as identical to simple. No, all of them are different. So C is the correct answer. C is the correct answer. True, false, true, true. Right? Any doubt still here? And who gave the correct answer? Let me see. C answer. For question number 9, Deena sir. Again, congratulations, Deena sir. Rani ma'am, your answer was not right. Nandu sir, Rukmani ma'am, Gauri Gau, very good. Neeraj sir, shabash, very, very good. Cheete ho tum sare. Cheete. You move at the, speed that I cannot recognize. Very, very good. Very good. I'm really proud of you. So, Deena sir. Again. Deena sir already had 8 lakh rupees, 9 more. 17 lakh rupees. Rani ma'am, Deena sir, competition high hai. So what are we waiting for, everybody? Next question. Question number 10. Which of the following statements regarding sampling distribution and standard error are correct? Sampling distribution is what? I have different samples with me, and each sample has its own central tendency. As sample A, sample B, sample C, D, E, F, G, H. Each sample may have its own mean. Sample A has mean as 36. Sample B has mean as 40. This has mean as 42, and so on, right? What is standard error? The error of chance. Standard error represents the standard deviation of samples from a population. Okay. Standard deviation of sample from population, which seems correct, right? What is standard deviation? Standard deviation is, standard error is standard deviation of sample from population. You tell me, do you think it is correct or not? You tell me, what do you think, it is correct or not? It is not correct. It is not correct. Why? Why? Because standard error represents standard deviation of sample mean, sample distribution. Not sample, but sample distribution or sample mean from a population. So A is incorrect. 1 is incorrect. So wherever you see 1, cross it out. 1, cross it out. Okay. The mean of a sampling distribution is equal to the population mean if the sampling is unbiased. If the sampling is unbiased, or if the sampling is simple sampling. Yes, this is correct. This is correct. This was wrong, this was correct. Okay. Wherever we have 2 should be correct. Wherever we have 2 should be correct. Now, option number C doesn't have 2. So, A should be the correct answer by default. But let's see what the other statements are saying. A lower standard error implies more accurate estimate of the population parameter. Yes, correct. Lower the standard error, I can rely on this data more. Accurate estimate लिया था, बिल्कुल सही. Sampling distribution allows us to understand the variability of a stats due to chance. Yes, sampling distribution से हमें variability पता लग रही है कि कितना chance है error का. ठीक है. Because sampling error सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं आया कि हमने sample उठा लिया. It is the key to inferior statistics. It helps us to understand कि कितना chance है error आने का. Right? Next, large sample always reduces your standard error regardless of population variety. Do you think that is correct? I have always said that larger the sample, less chances. बट अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि पॉपुलेशन में वेरिएबल्स बहुत सारे हैं तो जितना ज्यादा अच्छा सैंपल लोगे उतनी बड़ी कम चांस होगा. नो नो नो, यू कैन नॉट ignore your variability. You cannot ignore variability. So 5 is incorrect. So 2, 3 and 4 are correct. A is the correct answer. With the by chance, I am telling you how to see the correct answer. So that is why हमने by default A लगा दिया है. But why A? Right. So the correct answer is A, and it was given to me by Deena sir. Very good, Deena sir. Very good, Rukmini ma'am. Very good, Gauri Gaur sir. Very, very good. मजा आ गया है सबका आंसर देके. Very good. So statement 1 is incorrect because standard error is not standard deviation of sample. It is standard deviation of sampling distribution. 2 is correct because if sample is unbiased, population mean will be equal to your sampling mean. 3 is correct. Smaller standard error means more reliable estimate, less variability. 4 is correct because sampling distribution helps us to understand the chance error. And statement 5 is incorrect because larger sample size, yes, it reduces the standard error, but never to 0 unless the entire population is surveyed. Moreover, population variability still influences your standard error. Right? Next question. Okay, so Deena sir took the question home. So Deena sir has how much with him? 17 already. 17 plus 10, 27. Oh my God. Next question, question number 11. Which of the following statements are true with respect to sample? Sampling distribution of the sample mean where the population is normally distributed. Okay. We are talking about sampling distribution, like different samples, different means. The mean of the sampling distribution is equal to population mean. Okay. The standard deviation of the sampling distribution becomes 0 if the sampling size equals the population size. Like whatever the population was, I took the whole population. That is why the standard deviation of sampling distribution is 0. Absolutely right. If I took the whole population, standard deviation will be 0. Of course, the sampling distribution has smaller spread than population itself. Okay. If the population standard deviation is 0 and sample size is n, the standard deviation of the sample is 0 divided by under root of n. Okay. Increasing the sample size, the standard deviation of sampling increases the standard deviation. If I increase the size, the deviation will also increase. No. If I increase the size, the deviation will decrease. The deviation will decrease. This is false. Statement number 5 is false. Yes. The mean of the sample distribution is equal to population mean. Yes. If you have taken an unbiased population, then correct. 2 is correct. See, 3 is also correct. Sample mean exhibit less variability than individual observation, hence a smaller spread. Yes, this is correct. जो एक सैम्पल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होता है इसका स्प्रेड जो है कम है, क्योंकि जो इंडिविजुअल है वही हमने कम लिया, पॉपुलेशन में तो स्प्रेड ज्यादा हो गया, इंडिविजुअल हमने सैम्पल में ही कम लिया है तो स्प्रेड भी कम है. ओके, नेक्स्ट, if the standard deviation is 0 and sample size is n, the standard deviation will be, हमें पता है standard deviation क्या होता है मीन का, sample mean का. standard deviation of sample mean बोलो या standard error बोलो, it is what, standard deviation divided by under root of n. 0 है and divided by n, तो correct है, ये भी correct है. so 1 2 3 4 1 D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. And Dina sir was again the first one to give me the answer. Rani ma'am, very good. Neeraj sir, very good. Gauri Gao sir, very good. Rukmani ma'am, very good. Absolutely right. Is the question clear to everybody? Please let me know if there is any sort of doubt that you are having. Do let me know. I'll repeat the question. Any question that you want me to repeat, I'll repeat the question. Dina sir, who was previously at 27, now has 11 more, 38. 38 lakh rupees, Dina sir. Oh my god, मजे ही आ गए. Any question, anybody till here? Otherwise, I'll move to the next question. We have already covered unit 3 and I'm going to do questions. Then we have to cover next 3 units and then we'll do the questions. Any questions, anybody? Please let me know. Or if you need a break also, let me know. We have a limited time out here. Please, let's not waste time. Any questions, do let me know. Okay, then. Moving ahead, question number... Okay. Question number 12 on your computer screens, everybody. No questions, no question, no doubt. Great, great, great. Okay. Let's continue, yes. Question number 12. So, I've already given you the synopsis. Question number 12. Which of the following statement related to CLT, Central Limit Theorem, which was giving us a relationship between the sample and the population size and its application are correct or not? As per CLT, the sampling distribution of the sample mean approaches a normal distribution only if the population distribution is normal and the sample size exceeds 30. We have done that. Yes, if the sample size exceeds 30, the sample distribution is such. That is correct. But read the question aram se, read it carefully. Does the CLT require the population distribution to be normal? I never said that. The population distribution can have a lot of variety. It states that regardless of the population distribution, the sample distribution will always tend to move towards normality. If your sample size increases more than 30, if your sample size is more than 30, your sampling distribution will definitely move towards normality. It will be more normal, irrespective what is your population diversity. It is not correct. So option number 1 is not correct. because it is seeing the sample distribution of the sample mean approaches a normal distribution only if the population diverse distribution is normal. No, we are never saying that. We said that yes, if the sample size exceeds 30, there will be more normality to it. But we never said that the population also has to be normal. So A is incorrect. 1 is incorrect. So wherever you have 1, you get rid of it. Oh, that is why everybody is saying A. That is why I got the answer A. Very good. Smart Wonder and Rani ma'am. Very good. Okay. Next. The standard error of the mean decreases as the sample size increases. Yes, we understand, more the sample we take, less the chances of error due to its inverse relationship with the square root of the sample size. Yes, it is correct. Even if the population distribution is highly skewed, highly diverse, the distribution of the same sample of the sample mean becomes approximately normal to the same sample grows. Yes, correct. Okay. The CLT allows us to use sample stats to make interference about population parameter even without knowing the shape of the population. Correct. It allows us, even if we don't know the shape of the population, the CLT helps us the relationship between the population and the sample. Increasing the sample size always proportionately increases the precision regardless of cost benefit. No, this is not correct, because we know that, the accuracy, it increases at decreasing rate, and sample size only increases. If you increase the sample size, even if you increase the sample size, the accuracy of this sample size will increase only at a decreasing rate. Implying if I increase my sample size by 10, the accuracy might increase only by 3. So there is a lot of cost involved to collect more sample, but the accuracy level is not increasing that much. So 5th is wrong. Only 2, 3 and 4 are correct. 1 is incorrect because you do not, regardless of the population distribution, the CLT requires population distribution to be normal. Okay. 2 is correct. 3 is also correct, but it works even when the population distribution is skewed or not normal. Increasing the sample distribution means becomes approximately normal. 4th is correct. The core value of CLT is that it shows statistician to make interference using the normal distribution even if the population distribution is unknown. 5th is incorrect because larger sample increases precision. We understand that the returns of the population diminishes due to square root relationship. Additionally, practical limitation like cost is to be considered. Right? Next question. Okay, Deena, who took this question home? Smart Wonder. Very good, Smart Wonder. Okay. Standard error formula, I've already told you, Smart Wonder. Standard error is standard deviation of the population divided by under root of n. How first option is wrong? First option is wrong because the standard error will definitely move towards normality if we increase the size, but we never said that normality will not, and we increase the sample size to 30 and more. We have understood that. We took that in the class, right? When we took the unit with us, when I explained you the unit, I told you if the sample size is 30 or more, it will move towards normality. And never said that population diversification of variety is not taken into account. We never said that. But the option number 1 says it only if the population distribution is normal. The stress is on the word only. That only if the population distribution is normal, then it will be towards normality. No, we're not saying that. It will move towards normality if you will take higher size, if you will take 30 or more. So only if the population distribution is normal. What if the population distribution is varied? Then what? Then also I take more than 30 samples, I will move towards normality. Okay. Got it, Neeraj sir now? Next question. Smart Wanderer got 12 lakh rupees. Next question. Question number 13. Which of the following statement is or are true regarding the finite population multiplier and its effect on standard error? We know standard error. What was the formula? Standard error into population size minus sample size divided by population size minus 1. This was your finite population multiplier. When the population size is significantly larger than the sample size, that is sampling fraction is small, the finite population multiplier approaches when and has minimal impact on standard error. If that happens, if my population is very high and my sample is very significantly low, then the finite population multiplier will reach to 1 and it will not have much impact on standard error. You tell me, is that true or not? Yes, it is true. It is true. If let's say I have 5,000 items with me and I take 100 items as my sample, the multiplier will be closer to 1. In such cases, it does not significantly affect my standard error and the infinite population formula is acceptable. Then it is acceptable. So, 1 is correct. Next. The finite population multiplier must be used in all situations regardless of sampling fraction to ensure statistical accuracy. That you will use it into all situations. That is not correct. That is not correct. Generally, the rule is the sampling fraction is less than 5%, then the multiplier can be ignored. It is not needed in all scenarios. Only and only if the fraction is less than 5%, it is required. So this is not correct. The standard error of the mean decreases as the sample size increases. The standard error will decrease if the sample size increase. अभी तक तो ठीक लग रहा है, but the law of diminishing return applies. That is, doubling the sample size does not cut the standard error by half. This is right. This is right. This is exactly what we were saying, that even if you increase your sample size by say 10 units, your error will not decrease by 10 units. Your error will decrease by, let's say, 2 units, 3 units only. So this is also correct. The finite population multiplier is calculated using the formula under root of, yes, we did not take under root has to be taken, under root of n minus n divided by n minus 1 and is applicable when the sampling is without replacement for a finite population. Do you think this is correct? Yes, this is absolutely correct. ये तो impact के लिए करा है हमने multiply. Multiplier तो यही है, formula तो यही है, ये तो impact निकाला हमने इस पे. ठीक है, so fourth is also correct. Fifth, if the sample includes more than 5% of the population, that is sampling fraction is more than 0.5, the finite population the finite population correction should be considered while computing the standard error. What does this mean? What does this mean? कह रहे हैं, if the sample includes more than 5% of the population, sampling fraction is more than 0.05, the finite population correction should be considered while computing the standard error. Yes, yes, if it is more than 0.5 तो हमको consider करना पड़ेगा standard error पे, फिर हमें इस पे impact लेके आना पड़ेगा. This is also absolutely right. So only 2 is incorrect. So wherever there is 2, cross it out, and 1, 3, 4, 5. B should be the correct answer. B should be the correct answer. 1 is correct when the sample size is small relative to the population. The finite population multiplier is close to 1. In such case, it does not significantly affect the standard error and infinite population should be accepted, not finite. 2 is incorrect because it is not needed in all scenarios. Generally accepted rule is if sampling size is less than 5%, the multiplier can be ignored. It can be ignored. So हमें multiplier सिर्फ कहाँ लेके आना है? जहाँ पर sample size more than 5% है, सिर्फ वहीं लेके आना है. right? We have to take our finite multiplier only in cases when the sample size is more than 5%. That is why fifth is correct. Third is correct because it is not proportional. We know कि हम sample size बढ़ा भी देंगे तब भी error उतने से ही नहीं reduce होगा. ठीक है, finite population का यही formula है, and we know this, and this is for replacement. Okay. Any question till here? Any question? This was a good question for exam, by the way. This was a good question. Any doubt till here? Please ask. Yes, correct. B was correct answer. Rani ma'am gave the correct answer. Rani ma'am was the first one to give the correct answer. Very good, smart wonder. Gauri Gaur sir, it is not correct. Deena sir, very good. Next question that I have for you is question number 14. Which of the following statements are correct regarding measures of central tendency? This is the third unit now. Measures of central tendency are used to condense large volume data into single representative value to facilitate analysis and comparison. Absolutely right. हम यही तो कर रहे थे, बड़े डाटा को एक छोटी सी यूनिट एक वैल्यू पे लेके आ रहे थे. करेक्ट. A good measure of CT must always be affected by extreme values to reflect real life fluctuations accurately. You tell me. A good measure should be affected by extremes. Incorrect. Good measure should not be affected by extremes. Wrong. ये तो हमने फर्स्ट चीज पढ़ी है. No, wrong. One key objective of CT is to simplify complex data sets for clearer interpretation and decision making. Yes, we want more clearer. We want to simplify complex data. So 1 and 3 are correct. B is the correct answer. B is the correct answer. Absolutely right. And Gauri Go sir gave me the correct answer. Very good. Rani ma'am, Deena sir, and Rukmani ma'am, very good. Next question that I have for you, I've already explained it to you. Question number 15. 3 different departments in a company have following average monthly salaries and number of employees. A, B, C. Find the combined average monthly salary. I have to find the combined mean. So 25 into 48,000 plus 40 into 52,000 plus 35 into 47,000 divided by 25 plus 40 plus 35, which will come to how much? You give me the calculation, please. How much will it be? $25 plus 40 plus 35 will be 100. Nobody sits in this class without the calculator, right? So 25 into 48,000 plus. So how do you calculate it? I'll tell you the calculator use as well. What do you have to do is 25 into 48,000. You press equals to. Then you keep it in the memory. How do I keep it in the memory? Press M plus. There's a button of M plus on your calculator. Keep it in the memory. Then 40 into 52,000. Press equals to and keep it into memory. Then 35 into 47,000. Press equals to and press M plus. Keep it in the memory. Then you press MRC, mark. It will automatically add all 3 numbers, which will come to this, divided by 100. 100 was your N1 plus N2 plus N3, which will come to 49,250. Which will come to 49,250. So the correct answer will be C. Yes, absolutely right. 49,250. C is the correct answer. And who all got the correct answer? Let me see. Gauri sir, very good. Very good, Gauri sir. Only Gauri sir got the correct answer till yet. It was comparatively very easy question to solve. Very easy question to solve. All you had to do was have a calculator, that's it. And I also told you how to use your calculator. Always use your calculator precisely in the correct fashion. Okay, next question for you all. Were you able to solve the question? What did I do? N1 into average of the first one. So N1 into X bar 1 plus N2 into X bar 2 plus N3 into X bar 3 divided by N1 plus N2 plus N3. N is number of employees and X is their average salary. Simple. Next question. Question number 16. Which of the following statements regarding GM are correct? GM only for positive statements, for calculating stock in indexes, for calculating percentages, rates. No, percentage rates are for harmonic mean. So GM is preferred when analyzing data that include compounding effect over time. Yes, absolutely right. Compounding होती है यहाँ पर. Correct. Stock में stock market compounding होती है, याद रखेंगे. GM can be used even when the data sets include zero or negative values. Wrong. Only positive values. Only positive values. GM is the most suitable mean to calculate average speed over different distances. Do you think that is the correct answer? Different rates. Do you think that is the correct answer? Incorrect. Harmonic mean is used for speed. Different distances. The different measures होते हैं तो harmonic mean. GM is generally less than arithmetic mean for same data set. Correct. GM will always be lesser than arithmetic mean. GM is used in calculating compounded annual growth. CAGR निकालने में use होता है. Yes, correct. So 1, 3, 1, 4 and 5. D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. GM cannot be computed with negative or zero, and GM is not calculated for speed. Harmonic mean is more appropriate there. Next question. Which of the following statement accurately describes HM, harmonic mean? हार्मोनिक मीन में हम कब लाए थे? जब डिफरेंट परसेंटेजेस थी, डिफरेंट रेट्स थे, डिफरेंट मेजर्स थे. सो HM इज यूजुअल व्हेन एवरेजिंग रेशियोज और रेट विद डिफरेंट यूनिट्स. करेक्ट, बिल्कुल सही है. HM इज स्क्वायर ऑफ प्रोडक्ट ऑफ AM एंड GM. ऐसा है क्या कि AM इंटू GM करोगे तो इसका स्क्वायर आएगा तो HM आएगा? नो, इसका स्क्वायर HM आएगा. ये था क्या फॉर्मूला? ऐसा तो नहीं था फॉर्मूला. ये तो नहीं है, ये तो नहीं पढ़ा हमने, ये तो नहीं पढ़ा हमने. हमने ये जरूर पढ़ा था, दूसरा फॉर्मूला पढ़ा था, ये नहीं पढ़ा था. HM is appropriate for calculating average speeds across multiple journey of different differences. Yes, correct. HM is not affected by extreme values or outliers. You tell me whether that is correct or not. You tell me whether that is correct or not. HM is not affected by outliers or extremes. Absolutely wrong. Wrong. HM में तो सबसे ज्यादा अफेक्ट हो रहे हैं extremes. It is highly sensitive. HM is computed as reciprocal of arithmetic mean of the reciprocal of the values. Sorry. HM is calculated as reciprocal of arithmetic mean. मतलब HM is equals to 1 by arithmetic mean of the reciprocal of the values. Yes, correct. HM का फॉर्मूला ही तो ये है, n divided by 1 upon x plus 1 upon x. क्या ये उल्टा फॉर्मूला नहीं है? अर्थमेटिक मीन क्या था? सिग्मा ऑफ x divided by n. इसका उल्टा कर दो तो n ऊपर चला गया और 1 by x नीचे आ गया. तो यस, फॉर्मूला ये है. सो 1, 3 and 5 are correct. A is the correct option. A is the correct option. HM is ideal for data like speed per kilometer where values are ratios of different units. फॉर्मूला क्या है? AM into HM is equals to square of GM. करेक्ट. एवरेज निकालने में इनकरेक्ट बिकॉज सेंसिटिव है, हाईली सेंसिटिव है. दैट इज द एग्जैक्ट डेफिनेशन ऑफ हार्मोनिक फॉर्मूला ये है HM का. सो A इज द करेक्ट आंसर. A इज द करेक्ट आंसर. बिल्कुल सही. नहीं, सॉरी, नॉट A. व्हाट इज द करेक्ट आंसर? A. Yes, A is the correct answer. Next question. Any doubt still here? Anybody? Please let me know एनी डाउट स्टिल हेयर? बिकॉज बहुत अच्छे क्वेश्चंस कर रहे हैं हम लोग, जो हमने यूनिट में पढ़ा है उसको हम पूरा यहाँ अप्लाई कर रहे हैं. सो एनी डाउट स्टिल हेयर, प्लीज लेट मी नो. No doubt, Rani ma'am has told. Okay, great. Next question. Which of the following statement related to median and quartiles are correct? Median क्या था? 50%. क्वार्टाइल क्या था? हमने अपने डाटा को Q1, Q2 एंड Q3 में बांट लिया था इक्वल फोर्स में. Okay. The median is always equal to arithmetic mean in a symmetrical distribution. Quartile divides the data set into 4 equal parts using the values Q1, Q2, Q3. Okay. Okay. 1 minute. Let me. Okay, you are unable to see the question, I guess. So the question, point number one says that the median is always equal to अर्थमेटिक मीन. ऐसा तो कहीं नहीं पढ़ा हमने. इन अ सिमेट्रिकल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऐसा तो हमने कहीं नहीं पढ़ा भैया. रॉन्ग. मीडियन अर्थमेटिक मीन जैसा क्यों होगा? मीन एवरेज है, मीडियन मिड पॉइंट है. मीन एवरेज वैल्यू है, मीडियन एक ऑब्जर्वेशन है, आइटम विच विल डिवाइड माई सीरीज इंटू 2 इक्वल पार्ट्स. सो नो, दैट इज नॉट करेक्ट. क्वार्टाइल्स डिवाइड द डाटा सेट इंटू 4 इक्वल पार्ट्स यूजिंग Q1, Q2, Q3. करेक्ट, बिल्कुल सही है. तो जहां भी 1 लिखा है उसको तो हटा दो, और जहां जहां 2 है वो ठीक है. तो चलो बी एंड डी में से हमें चूज करना है. द इंटरक्वार्टाइल रेंज इज कैलकुलेटेड बाय Q3 minus Q1 and represents the speed across the median. Oh, now this is a bit nice. कह रहे हैं कि इंटरक्वार्टाइल रेंज इंपॉर्टेंट, दैट वी हैव नॉट डन इट टिल येट. कह रहे हैं इंटरक्वार्टाइल रेंज जो होती है कोएफिशिएंट, कह रहे हैं इसका फॉर्मूला है Q3 minus Q1 and this shows us how we are running across the median. It is absolutely right. That is the formula. बिल्कुल सही है. It measures the variability around the median only. Okay. For an even number of observation, the median is average of 2 middle values. Absolutely right. N by 2th item plus n by 2th item plus 1 divided by 2. Average of 2 items. Correct. The median is a positional average and does not depend on arithmetical calculation of values. Yes, हम एक position ही तो बता रहे हैं कि कौन सी position है जो इस series को 2 equal parts में बांट देगी. So correct. So only one was not correct. D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Everybody, your answer is correct. D is the correct answer. Okay, next question. D is the correct answer. Yes. Next question for you, question number 19. The following frequency distribution shows the marks obtained by 100 students in a test. ये मेरी क्लास इंटरवल्स हैं, ये मेरी फ्रीक्वेंसी है. मीडियन मार्क क्या है स्टूडेंट्स का? मीडियन निकालो. ओके, हाउ डू आई फाइंड द मीडियन मार्क? यस, यू विल गेट क्वेश्चंस लाइक दिस इन योर एग्जाम. यस, हाउ डू आई डू दिस? फर्स्ट स्टेप शुड बी मैं जल्दी से क्या निकाल दूंगी? क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी. 5 plus 12 is 17 plus 18 is 35 plus 20 is 55 plus 25 is 80 plus 10 is 90 plus 10 is 100. मतलब ये 100 ही होना चाहिए था और लास्ट का 100 आ रहा है, मतलब हम ठीक जा रहे हैं. अभी हमने सब सही करा है. 100 स्टूडेंट्स, क्यूमुलेटिव कितना होना चाहिए? 100 होना चाहिए, और 100 ही आ रहा है तो ठीक है. 100 ही टोटल बच्चे हैं, ठीक आ रहा है तो सही है. अब क्या करेंगे? स्टेप नंबर 2, वी नीड टू फाइंड मीडियन क्लास. n by 2, 100 by 2 इज योर मीडियन क्लास. 50, जहां भी 50 फॉल करे, नहीं 50 विल फॉल हेयर. हाउ डिड आई कैलकुलेट दैट? बिकॉज till 35 it is here, after 35 it is here. Okay, Now formula is lower limit plus upper limit minus lower limit into n by 2, that is 50, minus cumulative frequency of the class preceding the median class, minus 35, divided by frequency of your own class, that is 20. This should be your median. This should be your median. Calculate, everybody, please. Calculate. Take out your calculators. 50 minus 35 into 10 divided by 20 plus 30. 37.5 is the correct answer. 37.5. So D is the correct answer. So yes, you will get questions like this. It was such an easy question. Free के number हैं यहाँ. Free के number हैं बिल्कुल ही. Very good रुक्मणी मैम. Very good दीना सर. Very good. बिल्कुल free number है यहाँ पर ये. 37.5. All you had to do was calculate your cumulative frequency. That's it. Next question. Which of the following statements about mod and its characteristics are or is correct? Mod क्या था? Highest frequency. That is your mod. Mod is the value that appears most frequency in a data set and can have more than one value in certain distribution. Yes. There might be two items in my data set which have the most frequency, correct? It is right. No problem in that. It is correct. Statement number 1 is correct. Okay. The formula for mod is grouped frequency distribution. Consider the frequency of the model class, its preceding class and succeeding class. Yes, I consider my frequency, I consider frequency of my preceding class and I consider frequency of my next class. Yes, correct. Absolutely right. बिल्कुल सही बोला है. फॉर्मूला में आता है ये भी. क्या फॉर्मूला था? L1 plus F1 minus F0 divided by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2. करा था ना ये भी. चलो next. One merit of mode is that it requires all data points to be known and used in calculation. आपको सारे पॉइंट्स पता होंगे तभी आप मॉड निकाल पाओगे. नहीं, ऐसा हमने कभी नहीं कहा. मुझे जब हाईएस्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी पता लग जाएगी तब मैं मॉड निकाल लूंगी. तो सब डेटा पॉइंट जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. हाईएस्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी पता चल जाए. So wrong. A multi-model distribution has more than two model values that occur with similar frequency. Correct. Multi-model मतलब दो से ज्यादा हैं ऐसे मेरे पास आइटम जिनकी एक जैसी फ्रीक्वेंसी है, हाईएस्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी है. A key limitation of mode is that it is suitable for algebraic manipulation and highly representative of the data set. Incorrect, because mode is not suitable for algebraic treatment. अब इस पे और क्या mathematics लगाएंगे? It is not a reliable estimate. So 3 and 5 are incorrect. 1, 2 and 4 are correct. 1, 2 and 4. So B is correct. B is the correct answer. Okay, and I did not get this answer from anybody. Nobody gave me this correct answer. Nobody gave me the correct answer. Sad. That is sad. Three is not correct. People who have said D, most of the answers were D. 3 is not correct. Not every point is to be known. I just need to know the highest frequency class. From there I can calculate. Not all values are required. Right. Okay. Next please. Next question. Question number 21 on your computer screens. Which of the following statements related to measures of dispersion are correct? Dispersion is what? How my frequency, my distribution is deviated from my central tendency. Like my standard deviation, range, your mean deviation, right? कि भैया मेरा जो मीन आ रहा है, सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी आ रहा है, एवरेज आ रहा है, हर एक आइटम मेरे इस मीन से कितना दूर है. Every item of my distribution, how much it is deviated from my mean. कि मेरा हर एक आइटम मेरे मीन आइटम से कितना दूर है, कितना इसका डिफरेंस है. इसको बोलते हैं हम मेजर ऑफ डिस्पर्जन. The measure of dispersion indicate how far individual data points deviate from central tendency. Absolutely right. The coefficient of range and standard deviation are both relative measure. Range and standard deviation are absolute. So both of them are not relative. Coefficient of standard deviation, coefficient of mean deviation, coefficient of standard deviation तो होता नहीं, variance. Coefficient of range is relative. Standard deviation is not relative. Variance is relative. One key characteristics of good measure of dispersion is that it should be based on all observations. You tell me whether it is right or not. Yes, correct. Correct. Standard deviation absolute था, ये relative है. This is also correct. Quartile deviation and mean deviation are considered absolute. Correct. The coefficient of variance is absolute measure. No, it is relative measure. It is wrong. So 1, 3 and 4 are correct. D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Absolutely right, Deena sir. बिल्कुल सही दिया है आपने आंसर. Very good. Next question, question number 22. D is the correct answer. Question number 22. Which of the following statements regarding measures of dispersion is or are correct? Range is not a reliable measure when data set includes outliers or extreme values. When we have extreme values, range is not considered. भाई range होता क्या है पहले तो समझो. रेंज क्या होता है? मैक्सिमम माइनस मिनिमम इज माई रेंज. कह रहे रेंज जो है बढ़िया एस्टिमेट नहीं है अगर हमारे पास एक्सट्रीम वैल्यूज है. यस करेक्ट. रेंज ओनली यूजेस मैक्सिमम मिनिमम वैल्यूज. अ सिंगल एक्सट्रीम कैन डिस्टॉर्ट इट. एक वैल्यू मैक्सिमम एक्सट्रीम चली जाए पूरा रेंज खराब हो जाएगी, मेरी पूरी रेंज खराब हो जाएगी. तो यस करेक्ट. यस करेक्ट. 1 is absolutely right. The coefficient of quartile deviation uses Q1 and Q3 in both numerator and denominator. What is the formula? Yes, it is correct. बिल्कुल सही है ये बात, क्योंकि फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ क्वार्टाइल डिविएशन क्या है? क्वार्टाइल डिविएशन मैंने आपको बताया था कैसे निकालते हैं. कोएफिशिएंट कैसे निकालोगे? Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. So this is also correct. इसका फॉर्मूला क्या है? Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. इससे आपको क्या निकल जाएगा? कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ क्वार्टाइल डिविएशन. मीन डिविएशन इज परफॉर्म्ड ओवर रेंज इन क्वालिटी कंट्रोल एप्लीकेशन ड्यू टू इट्स अलजेब्रिक ट्रेसेबिलिटी. बताओ ये सही है या नहीं? नो, नॉट करेक्ट, बिकॉज मीन डिविएशन इज एन एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू. इट कैन नॉट बी रिट्रैक्टेड. रॉन्ग. Quartile deviation is unaffected by extreme values and is useful when data has outliers. Correct. सिर्फ मिडिल वैल्यू तो ले रहे हो ना आप क्वार्टाइल डिविएशन में, तो आउटलायर्स जो एक्सट्रीम वैल्यूज है उससे हम अनअफेक्टेड हैं. करेक्ट है. The mean deviation is calculated by ignoring algebraic signs of deviation from the mean. Correct. जब भी हम मीन डिविएशन निकालते हैं हम सिर्फ पॉजिटिव वैल्यूज लेते हैं. हम उनको अगर नेगेटिव आ भी रहा होता है उसको इग्नोर कर देते हैं. नेगेटिव को हम इग्नोर कर देते हैं. तो ओनली थर्ड वाज इनकरेक्ट. ओनली थर्ड वाज इनकरेक्ट. दिस इज इनकरेक्ट. दिस इज इनकरेक्ट. सी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. सी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. एनी डाउट टिल हियर? एनीबडी? एनी डाउट टिल हियर? एनीबडी? सो सी इज योर करेक्ट आंसर. ऐसा क्यों बोला हमने यहाँ पर दैट मीन डेविएशन इज प्रेफर्ड ओवर एल्जेब्रिक? इट इज एल्जेब्रिकली ट्रैक्टेबल? नो, मीन डेविएशन एक एब्सोल्यूट फिगर है. इट इज नॉट एल्जेब्रिकली ट्रैक्टेबल. ओके, next question that I have for you is question number 23. Find the correct pair of range and coefficient of range from the data set. Range का फॉर्मूला क्या है? मैक्सिमम माइनस मिनिमम. एंड कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रेंज का फॉर्मूला क्या है? कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रेंज का फॉर्मूला क्या है? यू टेल मी. मैक्सिमम माइनस मिनिमम डिवाइडेड बाय मैक्सिमम प्लस मिनिमम. सेम फॉर क्वार्टाइल डिविएशन, जैसे हमने क्वार्टाइल डिविएशन के लिए करा है, सेम, एग्जैक्टली सेम. तो बताओ सही क्या होगा? दिस इज माई डाटा सेट. व्हाट इज माई मैक्सिमम वैल्यू है? 31. What is my minimum value here? 18. So my range will be 31 minus 18. which will be how much? 3 and 13. Okay, so I have two options which have 13 as range, and my coefficient of range will be 13 divided by 18 plus 31, which will be 949. 13 divided by 49. So A is the correct answer. A is the correct answer. 13 divided by 49. How is D the correct answer, Dina sir? Why will D be the correct answer? The formula, you have to see the formula. 13 divided by 49. A is the correct answer. Should I explain it to you again? Range का formula क्या है? Maximum value minus minimum value, which will be 31 minus 18, which is 13. And coefficient of range is how much? Maximum minus minimum divided by maximum plus minimum. Maximum minus minimum is 13. Maximum plus minimum will be 31 plus 18, which will be 49. So 13 divided by 49. A is the correct answer. Okay, no problem, Dina sir. Next question. Next question for everybody on the computer screen. We do not have time for mistakes now. Please understand that. Your exam is just around the corner. Next question. Question number 24. Which of the following statement is or are correct with respect to standard deviation and coefficient of variance? Now let me tell you first the formula of standard deviation and coefficient of variance. Standard deviation is I find out my x. I have 2, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Can I find out my x bar from this? Yes. 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 4. Which should be your mean? Which will be 10 plus 10 20 plus 26. 26 divided by 2 is 13. I find out how much my each item is deviated from my central tendency. Central tendency is mean. So 2 minus 13 minus 11. 6 minus 13 minus 7. 8 minus 13 minus 5. 10 minus 13 minus. Okay, now my mean is not correct, I feel. Because not everything can be minus. 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 2, 13. Okay, so 2 minus 13 is minus 11. 6 minus 13 is minus 7. 8 minus 13 is 4. Okay, I am doing it wrong. I am very sorry. 26 to be divided by 4, that is 6.5. Okay, so 2 minus 6.5 is how much? Minus 4.5. 6 minus 6.5 is minus 0.5. 8 minus 6.5 is 1.5. 10 minus 6.5 is 3.5. Right? Now I take square of x minus x bar. So 4.5 into 4.5. How do I calculate it using the calculator? 4.5. I got minus 4.5, right, on the calculator. You just press multiply and then you press equals to. This gives you the square of your data. Multiply equals to. That is the square. If I'll press equals to one more, that will be the cube. If I press equals to one more time, that will be x power 4. That is how you calculate on your calculator. So it will be 20.25. I'll keep it in the memory. Then it is 0.5, which will be 0.25. Again, I'll keep it in the memory. I'm pressing plus and plus. 1.5 multiply equals to 2.25. Again, I'm keeping it in the memory. 3.5 multiply equals to, again, I'm keeping it in the memory. 12.25. And then I do mark. The total is 35. That is how you calculate your standard deviation. So standard deviation will be under root of 35 divided by n. Divided by your n. N is 4. That is how you calculate your standard deviation. Okay, got it? Now, which of the following statements are correct about standard deviation? A smaller standard deviation indicates greater consistency and homogeneity in the data. Yes. If my standard deviation is less, standard deviation क्या है? हर एक आइटम मेरे सेंट्रल मीन से कितना दूर है। अगर मेरा स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन बहुत कम है, इसका मतलब कंसिस्टेंसी थी, होमोजेनिटी थी, करेक्ट, दिस इज राइट। द कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ वेरिएंस, कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ वेरिएंस का फॉर्मूला क्या है कि बस इसमें आपने अंडर रूट नहीं लिया, उसमें फिर कोएफिशिएंट निकाल दिया। एक्सप्रेसेस द स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन एज अ परसेंटेज ऑफ द मीन, it expresses the standard deviation as the I'm so sorry, I was not dividing it by 4, yes, so it coefficient of variance is using the formula of standard deviation divided by your mean into 100, so which is right, it is showing as per the percentage। ये भी बिल्कुल ठीक है, ये भी बिल्कुल ठीक है। थर्ड स्टेटमेंट, one of the demerits of standard deviation is that it does not consider extreme values in the data। wrong, मैंने तो extreme value बिल्कुल डाटा में ली है, this is correct, this is false। बस क्या है, it gives more weight to the extremes, that should be the there, so this is wrong। हमने बिल्कुल ली है एक्सट्रीम्स, बट हमने बहुत वेट दे दिया एक्सट्रीम्स को, इतना वेट नहीं देना चाहिए था। सो 1 and 2 आर करेक्ट, ए इज द करेक्ट आंसर, ए इज द करेक्ट आंसर। Okay, next question, next question। Are you ready for the next question, everybody, please? Question number 25, which of the following statements regarding skewness and kurtosis is or are correct? Okay, I'm not giving you what is skewness and kurtosis, but I'll tell you skewness is how distorted you are as compared to your central tendencies। ठीक है, if your skewness which can be calculated as 0 positive, 0 positive and negative, that is how you calculate your skewness। okay, पॉजिटिव स्क्यूनेस का मतलब है कि लॉन्गर टेल था राइट में, तो मतलब कि मीन जो है वो मीडियन से बड़ा है, जो मॉड से बड़ा है। एक्सट्रीम वैल्यूज आप ले रहे हो, बट अगर नेगेटिव स्क्यूनेस है मतलब कि आपने टेल जो थी कम थी, टेम कम थी, और वहां पे एक्सट्रीम वैल्यूज आपने नहीं ली, मतलब ये होगा। ठीक है, तो स्क्यूनेस कि कितना स्प्रेड है, कितने स्क्यूड हो आप डाटा में। तो पॉजिटिव स्क्यूनेस मतलब आप लॉन्गर हो राइट में, और नेगेटिव स्क्यूनेस मतलब आप लॉन्गर हो लेफ्ट में। बस इतना ध्यान रखना है हमें एग्जाम के लिए। ठीक है, तो क्वेश्चंस करना शुरू करें। क्वेश्चन बोल रहा है कि इफ अ पॉजिटिवली स्क्यूड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन द मीन इज ग्रेटर देन मीडियन विच इज इन टर्न ग्रेटर देन मोड। यस करेक्ट, अगर पॉजिटिवली स्क्यूड हो, स्क्यूड में तीन ही चीजें हैं, या तो आप पॉजिटिव हो, या आप जीरो हो, या आप नेगेटिव हो। जीरो मतलब कोई डिस्टोर्शन ही नहीं है, पॉजिटिव मतलब कि यस आपके टेल जो है वो राइट की तरफ जा रही है एंड एक्सट्रीम वैल्यूज हैं आपके पास, और नेगेटिव है मतलब आपकी टेल जो है वो लेफ्ट की तरफ जा रही है, डिस्टॉर्टेड है डाटा। तो यस इन दिस केस अगर मोड मीन जो है वो मीडियन से बड़ा है, जो इन फैक्ट मोड से बड़ा है, तो यस इट इज पॉजिटिवली स्क्यूड। A distribution with 0 1 as 0 and 0 2 as 0 is what? Symmetrical and mesokurtic. मतलब yes, this is also correct. This is also correct. When P1 is 0, the distribution is symmetrical. When P2 is 0, the distribution is mesokurtic. मतलब peak में है, normal distribution से ज़्यादा आया है। If both conditions hold, the distribution is normal in shape. So this is also correct. Leptocratic distribution have fatter tail and sharper peak. Absolutely correct, बिल्कुल सही बात है। लेप्टोकोर्टिक्स में क्या होता है, सबसे ज्यादा पीक है, शार्प डाटा आता है, एकदम शार्प डाटा आता है। सो दिस इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट। A distribution with negative skew has a longer tail on the left side, and the order of CT becomes mod is more than median, which is more than mean. See, I know for negatively skewed मेरी longer tail left की तरफ होगी, ये बात सच है, ये बात सच है। और ऐसे केस में जस्ट उल्टा बन जाएगा हमारा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, विच इज मोड बड़ा हो जाएगा और मीन सबसे कम हो जाएगा। देखो पॉजिटिवली में मीन सबसे बड़ा था, मोड सबसे कम, नेगेटिवली मोड सबसे बड़ा है और मीन सबसे कम. Okay, the measure of kurtosis 0 2 is defined using the second and the fourth central moments, and 0 2 less than 0 indicates palicortic distribution. Absolutely right. This is also right. So all statements are correct. All statements are correct. All statements are correct. Is this clear to everybody? Please let me know in the comment section. So your skewness and your kurtosis, your polykurtosis, your leptokurtosis are basically the shape of how deviated you are from CTs, from your central tendencies, how deviated you are. तो जो shape बन रही है, curves बन रहे हैं, ये हम skewness से पता लगाते हैं. ठीक है. Let's move ahead then. Next unit. This was unit 1, 2, 3. I'm moving to the next unit. For this unit, since there is a time constraint, it is already 11:40 or 11:37. I do not want to waste your time. I want you to do more questions and I want to make more concepts clear to you. What we can do is, I'll give you a gist. Rather than taking you to the whole PPT, let me give you a gist of unit number 4, 5, 6. So unit number 4 is actually what? Unit number 4 is your correlation and regression. If I have to tell you on a gist that what is correlation and regression, if I have to tell you what is correlation and regression, if I have two variables, x and y, I'm not saying that x is dependent on y or y is dependent on x. These two can be independent, these two can be dependent. It can be any which way. I want to understand, if I increase x, will y increase or will it decrease? Whether it will move towards the positive sign or it will decrease. If I increase x, what will happen to y? I want to understand the direction of the other variable. I have never said that these two variables have to be dependent or independent. These can be independent, can be dependent. I just want to know, if I increase x, will y increase or will it decrease? What is the relationship between x and y? That we understand via correlation. And when I talk about regression, then what I'm trying to understand there, I'm trying to understand, if I increase here in regression, one will be dependent and one will be independent. In regression, x will be independent. For regression, for correlation, there was no independence and dependent relationship, but for regression, one will be independent and the other one will be dependent for sure. So when there is such case, I want to understand, if I increase x by this much percentage, if there is a change in x by this much percentage, by how much percentage y will increase or decrease? Increase or decrease could be any which way, right? This is what I am trying to understand by regression. So correlation tells me the direction. If I increase, whether you will increase or decrease. But regression tells me by what percent you will increase or decrease. So that is mota mota correlation and regression. ठीक है? Right, that is how correlation and regression work. Now the next unit that we have with us is time series. Okay, what does time series mean? Okay, there are questions about it. Wait, then let me take you to the next unit, that is time series. What is time series? Wait, I'll tell you. I know that on the basis of the past data that I have, there are certain trends in the data, right? From these trends, when you collect data over a period of time, this is known as time series. Simple. I collected data from various time periods, from various accounting periods, various financial years, etc., various seasons, maybe different points in time, and I have collected the data there. This is known as time series, which can be further divided into 4 parts. First is your secular trend, secular series for longer period of time. Then I have my seasonal variation, depends on season. When you have different seasons in the same year, seasonal. Then you have cyclical variation. You have different cycles. Like in business, you have different cycles. The business goes to boom, then it goes into depression, goes back and goes to regression. Then after some time it might go to boom, but it is not necessary that again after this much time only it will go to regression. Maybe in this cycle the time difference is less, this time was high and this time was less. So you are increasing but at a irregular pace. There is not symmetry of increase decrease. This is cyclical. Then we have irregular. Irregular means there is no understanding of how this data is moving. This is how time series work. And the last unit, that is unit number 6. Unit number 6 is theory of probability, that what are the chances of occurrence or non-occurrence of a certain thing. This is probability. That was probability. That you calculate by what are your favorable chances divided by total outcomes. Favorable chances of occurrence divided by total outcomes or total occurrence. That is how you calculate probability. Right. So let's move to unit number 4 first, that is correlation regression. Do the questions and then we can move to time series and theory of probability. Making sense, right? I gave you a gist of all the units here, 6, 7, 8. Now let's move ahead with the question. With questions, I'll explain you more about the unit. Or should I covered unit, because there is not much time left. If you want me to extend this class till 1, I can do that. That is not a problem. I can extend this class till 1 a.m. as well. I have no problem. But only that you have to go to your bank tomorrow morning. Whatever you want, tell me. Because it is already 25th today. Tomorrow I'll do numerical portion. 27th you have your exam. So you tell me what is to be done. You'll have to be quick about it, please, everybody. That is my small request. Be quick about it. Whatever you want. You want me to cover more topics or you want me to cover more questions? Okay. I'll do with questions then. Okay. Question number 1 for unit number 4. Which of the following statements are correct regarding correlation, scatter diagram and prediction of variables? Scatter diagram can be used to visually identify whether two variables have a direct, inverse or no relationship. Now the scatter diagram, it is telling me that whether if I move x, whether y will move in the same direction, in the opposite direction, or it has no relationship. True, true. यही तो जानने की कोशिश कर रहे थे हम कोरिलेशन से. If data points in a scatter diagrams are closely clustered around a straight line, it indicates a weak correlation between the variables. It indicates a weak. That is wrong. Now, if this is my scatter diagram, this is my correlation between x and y. If my dots are near the line, it indicates that there is a very strong correlation, not a weak correlation. That means x and y are strongly related. So this is wrong. This is wrong. Next statement that I have is the correlation coefficient R quantifies the strength of the linear relationship between two variables. So R is telling me correlation is telling me the strength. That is, it is giving me the formula. Yes. Between two variables x and y, I am able to quantify it. I am able to make it into numbers. This relationship of correlation. This correlation is quantified using coefficient of correlation. That is R. R is equal to covariance of x and y divided by standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. This is how you calculate correlation, and it is telling me how relationship can be quantified. So yes, it is correct. That curved linear relationship cannot be expressed by a line, but can often be modulated by a curve in a scatter diagram. Now there might be a diagram where there might not be a straight line, there might be a curve, because the scattered diagram was in such a manner. It implies that there was a curved linear relationship, a more complex relationship. Yes, this is true. This is true. Regression helps in predicting the value of one variable based on the known value of the another, assuming a relationship between exists them. That is also correct. With regression, I will be able to predict the value of variable y. If I know how much x is increasing, then I know how much y will increase or decrease. Given I know the relationship between them, that if I increase x, y will also increase. If I know x will increase, y will decrease. If there is 5% increase in x, I know whether y will decrease by which percentage. I know, so I can predict one of the two variables. So fifth is also correct. Only 2 was not correct. Only 2 was not correct. So wherever is 2, we'll cut it off. B is the correct answer. B is the correct answer. So this ways, I think we are covering our topics and we are covering our questions. Right? Right, Nandu sir? I think it is making more sense now that we are actually covering the questions and we are covering the topics. Next question. Next question. Why have the answers stopped? You guys are not giving me the answers. Why? Why did you stop? Please give me the answers as well, okay? Next question. Next question that I have is B was the correct answer. Scatter diagrams are specific to visually explore the relationship between direct, inverse or none relationship. If data points are closely cluttered, it shows a strong relationship. The correlation coefficient, that is R, measures the strength and direction. If curved linear relationship is there, it is a curved data. Regression is used for prediction. Correct. Which of the following statements regarding correlation and its computation are correct? What is the formula of correlation? Correlation का formula क्या है? Correlation का formula क्या है? First tell me that. Correlation का formula है कि covariance divided by standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. Right? So आओ करते हैं. Correlation coefficient R is the measure of curved linear relationship between two variable. दो वेरिएबल है, उनके बीच में कर्व लीनियर रिलेशनशिप है. नो, रॉन्ग. लीनियर रिलेशनशिप होना चाहिए. अगर लीनियर रिलेशनशिप है, कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं है, दोनों का रिलेशनशिप जो है वेल डिफाइंड है, सिर्फ तब आप कोएफिशिएंट कोरिलेशन लगा सकते हैं. तो ये बिल्कुल सही है. स्टेटमेंट नंबर 1 गलत है बिल्कुल. ठीक है. कोएफिशिएंट रिलेशन -1 implies a perfect linear relationship with a negative slope. yes, कोरिलेशन जो एफिशिएंट है या -1 से +1 के बीच में होता है. अगर ये नेगेटिवली अलाइंड होगा तो -1, पॉजिटिवली अलाइंड होगा तो 1. इसके बीच में कहीं है. इसके बीच ये अगर +1 या -1 है तो मतलब परफेक्टली अलाइंड है. परफेक्टली. बट इनके बीच में है तो वो देखना पड़ेगा कौन सी तरफ जा रहा है. तो -1 का मतलब है कि परफेक्ट लीनियर रिलेशनशिप है, बस नेगेटिव स्लोप है. करेक्ट. कि भैया बिल्कुल सही बात करिए कि भैया परफेक्टली इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप है कि मैं बड़ी तो वो बिल्कुल नीचे जाएगा और वो भी सेम परसेंटेज से. बिल्कुल सेम परसेंटेज से. बिल्कुल सही बात है. इफ R is 0, it means there is no relationship. Although other types of relationship may be present. बिल्कुल सही बात है. लीनियर रिलेशनशिप कोई नहीं है इनके अंदर. बिल्कुल सही कि अगर R 0 आ गया तो इनके अंदर लीनियर रिलेशनशिप नहीं है, कोई और सा रिलेशनशिप होगा, कर्व लीनियर होगा. ठीक है. The correlation coefficient is affected by the units in which the variables are measured. It is affected by the units in which variables are measured. Wrong. Because R का यानी कि coefficient of covariance का, correlation का, there is no unit. There is no unit of R. There is no unit of R. There is no unit of R. Learn it. There is no unit of R. क्योंकि आप कोवेरियंस निकाल रहे हो ए एंड बी का और फिर उसको डिवाइड कर रहे हो स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन ऑफ ए एंड स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन ऑफ बी, तो कट ही गया, कुछ यूनिट बची ही नहीं, देयर इज नो यूनिट. The value of R lies between -1 and 1, indicating the strength and direction of linear relationship. Correct. Absolutely right. बिल्कुल सही है, इसी के बीच में रिलेशनशिप आता है R का. So only 1 and 4 were not correct. 1 and 4 जहां जहां है हटा दो. D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Were you able to solve it, everybody? Were you able to solve it? Please comment in the chat box. Otherwise, how would I know whether these questions are making sense to you or not? Were you able to do the question? मैंने कोरिलेशन आपको बताया कि कोरिलेशन क्या है, कि अगर मैं x को मूव कर रही हूँ तो y कौन सी डायरेक्शन में मूव कर रहा है. अब मुझे इसको निकालने के लिए ना, क्वांटिफाई करने के लिए r निकालना पड़ता है. r इज व्हाट? कोरिलेशन कोएफिशिएंट. उसका फॉर्मूला है कोवेरियंस ऑफ ए बी डिवाइडेड बाय स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन ऑफ ए एंड स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन ऑफ बी, जो लाई करता है बिटवीन -1 to 1. अगर -1 या +1 है, -1 पे भी पॉजिटिवली इंक्लाइंड है और +1 पे भी -1 पे भी परफेक्टली इंक्लाइंड है एंड +1 पे भी परफेक्टली इंक्लाइंड है. यानी कि जितना चेंज मैं x में लाऊंगी उतना ही चेंज नेगेटिवली y में आएगा, मतलब अलग डायरेक्शन में चेंज करेगा. परफेक्टली अलाइंड है हम. और पॉजिटिवली इंक्लाइंड है, मतलब जितना चेंज मैं x में लाऊंगी उतना ही पॉजिटिव चेंज y में आएगा. So that is how R is helping you. But if R is 0, it means there is no linear relationship between x and y. There might be some other relationship, curve linear relationship होगा, but linear relationship नहीं है. Right? This is about correlation. This is about correlation. ठीक है, यहाँ तक if you are clear, please let me know, then I'll move forward. If you are clear till here, please let me know. I will move forward accordingly. So your exam is in 2 days. Not even 2 days, just 1 day left for your exam. You'll have to be on the same page with me. Only then I'll be able to help you with your exam. I'm getting no response, everybody, please. Is this making sense to you? Please. Okay, next question. Which of the following statements is true in context of regression and correlation analysis? Regression is for prediction. Regression is for if I change x by this much percentage, by how much percentage y will change. This is what we are trying to predict, right? Now you tell me. And this is finalized by equation, linear equation है. Y is equals to a plus b into x. A is the slope and b is the intercept. Do we need to learn it? Yes, you need to learn it. Okay, the slope b is in the regression equation is equals to a plus b by x, which is equal to this, represents the direction and steepness of the line and is calculated using the ratio of covariance of x and y to the variance of x. Is this correct or not? Is this correct or not? Well, this is true. This is true. Oh, I wrote it wrong here. A plus b, a is the intercept and b is the slope. Okay, for your a, which is your intercept, and b, which is your slope, it is, slope is the steepness, how steep it is the variance, covariance of x and y to variance of x, मतलब covariance of x and y to the variance of x. This is how you calculate your slope, which is correct. Which is equals to a plus b into x, which is equals to a plus bx. Represents the direction and steepness of the line. Correct. A high correlation coefficient, that is R, always implies a causal relationship between two variables. If R is high, do you think that the relationship is causal? No, it is false. If the correlation is high, it is close to 1, it implies that there is very high relationship, there is very strong spurious relationship. So this is wrong, false. If correlation is high, acha, the question I have here is, question I have from Neeraj Sir is, what is the difference between coefficient and correlation? There is no, you do not have to go between correlation and coefficient. Coefficient, correlation together. Coefficient is just a suffix, a relative measure. Okay, but there is a difference between covariance and correlation. For covariance, you just want, we were having an absolute figure, but for correlation, coefficient of correlation, you found the quantified figure. How much quantified is the difference? How much quantification is of the movement of the directions? That is from correlation coefficient. Okay. A perfectly curved relationship like points forming a circle will have correlation coefficient of 0. I have a circle. They are saying that if it is perfectly curved linear, all the points are forming in a circle, the coefficient correlation will be 0. Yes, correct. Correct. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because for my linear equation, R falls between -1 to 1. But if it is curved relationship is there, मतलब R 0 है, मतलब R 0 है, कोई relationship है ही नहीं दोनों में. तो 1 and 3 are correct. A is the correct answer. Any difference, any question here? Anybody, please let me know if you have any question. If anybody has any sort of question, please let me know. Okay, then I'll end the session out here and I'll meet you again in the next class. This was majorly about unit 1 to 6. We have covered what are the major concepts. In tomorrow's class, anyhow, measures unit 7, 8 and 9 are pure theory. It is all about estimates and linear stimulations. That's it. In tomorrow's class, what we are going to do is we are going to cover all practical numericals, relevant numerical questions which might come in your exam, and your unit 7, 8, 9. That I'll cover tomorrow. Okay, chalo. For probability theory, a lot of practical questions are there that we are going to cover tomorrow. All other numerical questions which I feel are important for your exam will cover, even though we have covered a lot of practical today, but tomorrow also I'll do it. So since your exam is just there around the corner, same timing, yes, 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. we are going to cover, 12 a.m. we are going to cover all major questions for you for in tomorrow's class. We'll not cover topics or concepts in tomorrow's class. We'll cover our numericals, and then last one we'll do our unit 7, 8, 9. That is what we are going to do for tomorrow, same timings. If you like the session, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, you can, and the bell icon, and you can always join us for your prep with JAIIB, CAIIB, JAIIB prep, where I am Radhika Dua, your co-explorer and mentor, always here for you. You can also reach out to me and you are there in the Telegram channel if you have any sort of doubts. So no problem in that, right? I'll meet you again tomorrow then. Bye bye, all the bankers. Have a great sleep, rest tonight, because tomorrow you have a long day, and then day after tomorrow you have your exam. And this is Radhika Dua signing off. I'll meet you again. Bye bye. If anybody has any sort of doubt before I leave, please let me know.